Chapter 1093. Yo! Someone is here to pick a quarrel. Hearing this, the guard's expression froze for a moment before he sneered. Then, he turned to look at the dozen or so other guards behind him and waved his hand. Brothers, did you see that? Someone is here to pick a quarrel. What do you think we should do? Of course we should kill him. Don't we want face? Yeah, isn't it just a stinking brat? Just kill him. Since he dares to cause trouble in the imperial capital, he should be prepared to die. Yes, Boss Long is right. See, you can do it. I'm not interested. Damn, what do you mean? Oh, if you're not interested, do you think I'm interested? At this moment, without waiting for Lin Ray to speak, the dozen or so guards began to throw Lin Ray to someone else. It was as if Lin Ray no longer belonged to them. Instead, he had become someone to be bought and sold at will. In the end, no one was willing to accept him. Lin Ray had been watching from the side. Seeing the dozen or so guards acting so presumptuously, his heart was filled with anger. His expression changed again and again. And in his arms, Blood Ling Tian was amused by the dozen or so guards that had been wiped out in front of him. The little one was overjoyed. Those who didn't know better would think that his laughing acupoint had been pressed. He couldn't stop laughing. Shut up. Blood Spirit Sky's actions caused Linley's head to hurt. He let out a low growl through divine sense, then raised his head, no longer paying any attention to Blood Spirit Sky. He stared straight at the 10 or so guards in front of him, his eyes cold and emotionless. In Lin Ray's eyes, these dozen or so guards were already dead. Very good. I gave you a chance. Since you don't know how to cherish it, then, die. As soon as he said that, his figure flashed quickly. Using 20% of his cultivation, he instantly used the dragon subduing step. He didn't use any combat techniques, just pure physical strength and spirit chi. Crack, the sound of bones breaking could be heard among the dozen or so guards who were in the middle of a discussion. The originally boisterous discussion suddenly stopped. The dozen or so guards turned their heads to look at Lin Ray. In the next moment, their pupils abruptly contracted and their breathing stopped. At this moment, before a guard, Lin Ray's hand was already wrapped around that guard's neck. At this moment, that guard's body seemed to have lost all of its bones. It was drooping down. There was no struggle, no sound of breathing, no heartbeat. All sorts of signs indicated that he was already dead. Huff huff, coming back to their senses, everyone let out a long sigh of relief. At this moment, the way they looked at Lin Ray had changed. To be able to casually kill a cultivator, this kind of power meant that he was a strong cultivator. Although they understood that there were many strong cultivators in the capital, but, so what? Who would stand up for them just for a few guards? Of course, the answer was no. Just as they thought, who would be willing to stand up for the watchdog of the empire? Unless that person had a screw loose in their head or was an idiot to begin with. Humph, you were the one who was the most talkative before. Look at you now. You'll be drunk from love forever. Let's see if you still dare to talk nonsense in front of this sovereign in the future. You even F*King crippled me. F*CK, why don't you take a look at yourself first? You're not worthy. Looking at the guard who could no longer speak in his hand, Lin Ray casually threw the corpse to the side as if he was throwing away trash. Opening his eyes, Lin Ray looked at the remaining dozen or so guards. The corner of his mouth rose slightly. A bloodthirsty smile appeared on Lin Ray's face. Why did you? One of the guards wanted to say, why did you make a move? We were the ones who made a move. Of course, before he could finish his words, Lin Ray interrupted him. The world is so big. You should go and see it. Don't think that anyone who comes here is a weakling. So what if you are a weakling? You are just watchdogs of the Empire. Do you really think that the Empire will make a move after killing you? Oh, I forgot to tell you. If the Empire doesn't give me an explanation this time, then... As he said that, he looked at the city wall of the Empire. His killing intent suddenly increased. If you don't give me a perfect reason, then there is no need for him to exist. Renewal, the law of all things. The dozen or so guards' faces turned ugly again. They felt wronged. What the F***ck? What's going on? Didn't we just say a few words? As soon as the thought came out, the man felt something on his neck. His consciousness gradually blurred. Before his eyes fell on Lin Ray, the little bit of consciousness he had left completely disappeared in the process of the man losing his life. I can't believe that I, a dignified Saint Realm cultivator, would actually kill a low-level cultivator. If this is exposed, wouldn't Lin Ray lose his face? He couldn't help but think that if this matter was heard by those people in the divine realm, they would probably laugh themselves to death. And at this moment, a memory which caused Linley's mind to become hazy began to intermittently surface in his mind. Your vigilance is quite high. I was almost discovered. At this time, Lin Ray, who was on a tree far away, was shocked. Lin Ray, who had been here for a long time, had been staring at the battle in the distance. He didn't expect that someone would look at Lin Ray's location at this time. For a moment, Lin Ray quickly hid. Roar! The diamond bear launched its final attack before it died. The entire bear's body shone with golden light as if it was destroying everything around it. However, the result wasn't that satisfying. The diamond bear died in its final effort. As for those people, they survived, but they were also seriously injured. Cough, cough. I didn't expect to meet this guy this time. What a loss. Yeah, it's just a dinner. To think that they would fight to such an extent. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, this demonic beast is dead in the end. This is also a good result, isn't it? The three people looked at each other and complained about why they had to find such a demonic beast. However, they didn't notice that Lin Ray had already reached their side. Whoosh! A long spear pierced towards one of the men. Quickly dodge. One of the men with high perception has already sensed the danger. This proves that the previous perception was not wrong. Humph, do you think I can let an injured man live under my spear? Lin Ray's movements were very fast. If these people were not injured, it would be very difficult to kill them. However, they were already injured. If he couldn't kill them, then they would really be crippled. Poof! The long spear pierced through the man's back. The man looked at the spearhead piercing through his back. He had an unwilling expression on his face, but this was already an unchangeable fact. The man's vitality was almost gone. Lin Ray turned to the next target. For them who were injured, Lin Ray could kill them very quickly. Lin Ray was like the messenger of death. He was harvesting people's lives in the night sky. You didn't die. When there was only one person left in this place, that person saw Lin Ray's face. Suddenly, he was so scared that he fell to the ground. His eyes were filled with disbelief. You didn't think that I would be alive. You must have thought that I was dead, right? How did you survive? Didn't you jump into the bottomless abyss? How can you still be alive? I don't believe it. When the man said this, he became very excited. It was as if he had gone crazy. He was crazily asking why Lin Ray was still alive. Oh, you don't need to know this. You only need to know that there are many of your companions waiting for you. However, there will be more people coming to find you later. After speaking, Lin Ray did not give that person a chance to speak. He killed the person in front of him with a single shot. This time was the same as last time. After killing people, Lin Ray disposed of them and covered the bloodstains. Ding dong, Congratulations to the host for consecutively killing Foundation establishment cultivators. The host is hereby rewarded with a chance to draw a general, a chance to draw a lottery, and 10,000 spirit stones. Congratulations to the host for killing a Foundation establishment cultivator. The reward is 50,000 experience points. Congratulations to the host for increasing one level. You have reached the peak of Qi refining level 9. The host now has the ability to complete the Ecliptic Spiritual Master's test. Do you want to do the task now? The system prompts came one after another. What made Lin Rei the most excited was the general draw and the cultivation level increase. For a time, Lin Rei found a safe place and checked his information. Name, Lin Rei. Age, 14. Cultivation, Qi refining level 9. Experience, 63080200000. Spiritual roots, thunder, fire, wood. 3. Chaos spiritual roots. Talent, top-notch cultivation method, chaos scripture, incomplete, devouring heavenly technique, growable, Hongmeng alchemy, entry-level, martial technique, butterfly steps, entry-level, stellar finger, proficient, silent thunder spear art, high-level mystic martial technique, now practiced to the entry level, can produce 3 lightning bolts, spiritual treasure, martial emperor godly spear, high-level spirit Qi, growable, equipment, cloud stepping boots, high-quality spirit Qi, purple cloud robe, high-quality spirit Qi, purple cloud inner armor, high-quality spirit Qi, mount, red flaming tiger, Qi refining level 1. Lucky draw wheel, 1 chance general draw system, 1 chance to draw lottery reputation points, 100 exchange points, 100 spirit stones, 11,000 mission, main mission, establish a sect in the next 5 years. If the mission is not completed or exceeds the time limit, the system will directly erase the mission. Side mission, within the next 5 years, he had to recruit 5 of the best disciples. Every disciple had to be top-notch. Within these 5 years, he had to help his disciples make a name for themselves in the mysterious heavenly mainland. If he didn't succeed in these 5 years, he would be killed by the system, just like the previous mission. Side mission, kill the evil spirit of the Zodiac Sage in 10 days. If the mission is not completed, the system will directly erase the mission. Side mission, go to the Fengyun sect and kill the 3rd Elder Wangshen in the next year. If the mission is not completed or not completed, the system will directly erase the mission. Pills, 30 body strengthening pills, 200 energy gathering pills, 50 foundation establishment pills, 1 marrow cleansing pill. I didn't expect that the experience points would increase to 200,000 when I'm only at Qi refining level 9. It seems that I have to work harder. Lin Rei was not happy when he saw his cultivation level. Instead, he felt that it was not enough and that he had to work harder. Ding dong, the system repeated for the 2nd time. The host's strength has reached the level where he can fight against the evil spirit. Do you want me to erase the body now? No, I don't have time now. Let's wait until the last day of the seal. Lin Rei did not choose to complete the mission now. Although he would level up immediately after completing the mission, the experience gained from killing people would be more. Lin Rei believed that if he killed all the people outside like this, his cultivation level would immediately rise to the foundation establishment stage. It could be imagined that Lin Rei's calculation was really perfect. Well, since the host has decided, there must be a plan for the host. However, the system wants to remind the host that if the evil spirit is not erased before the seal is unsealed, then the evil spirit will cause substantial damage to the host's mind. The host hopes that the host will consider it carefully. After that, the system went silent. Lin Rei also walked out of the place where he had just cultivated and went outside to begin the 3rd killing. Originally, there were only a dozen people who came in to hunt. Now, half of them had been killed by Lin Rei. The next one would be even smoother. Lin Li found the right direction. Activating his Shadow's Tepper, he began to walk at high speed in that direction. The people who came in to hunt had basically completed the mission given by the team leader. Hehe, this time we will definitely be able to eat our fill. If there is some carved flower wine, then it will be even more perfect, tsk. The person who spoke was one of the people who had been hunting recently. Once he thought about drinking wine, that person's mouth would not stop moving, as if he had already drunk it. Hehe, look at you. You don't have any sense of propriety. You only think about drinking all day. Don't you have anything else to do? After the person next to him heard his companion's words, his entire person became unwell. Humph, don't just talk about it. Don't you only know how to play in the drunken flower brothel all day? Aren't you afraid of dying in there one day? The two people talked back and forth as if they were very happy arguing. They did not even notice that there was someone next to them. Hehe, the two of you have a very good relationship. Who is it? The sudden voice startled the two people. Oh, don't tell me you don't recognize me. At this time, Lin Rei moved his face forward to let the two people see clearly. What? After seeing clearly who Lin Rei was, the two people were really startled. Why aren't you dead? One of them blurted out this question, but after saying it, the man immediately regretted it. That, brother, you see, the two of us were also following orders. In fact, we did not want to do it. It was all forced by them. Humph, forced? Lin Rei did not believe their nonsense. For a moment, Lin Rei took out his tone and went up to shoot. After seeing Lin Rei's actions, the two people were really startled and quickly took out their weapons to resist. Their imagination was very rich, but the reality was very cruel. In the end, the two people ended up dead. After Lin Rei had the experience of killing people, he was not soft-hearted. As long as he killed people, he would basically find the key point and kill himself. Humph, a group of greedy and cowardly people. Lin Rei killed them in less than a minute and then said to the corpses. Phew, this is the memory of the mortal world. Humph, die. Chapter 1094. The sudden appearance of his memories caused Lin Rei's movements to become sluggish. Although Lin Rei was sluggish, the others were not. Seeing that Lin Rei had stopped, they would be fools if they didn't attack. As the saying goes, take your life when you're sick. The greatest taboo in a battle was to be distracted. With a shout, a figure rushed out and arrived in front of Lin Rei. He raised his hand and thrust his blade toward Lin Rei's heart. His expression was cold without the slightest hesitation. It was as if killing someone was a common occurrence to him. Seeing that their leader was so ferocious, the others were unwilling to fall behind. As if they were injected with hormones, they raised their blades and slashed toward Lin Rei. Pfff, the sound of flesh being pierced was heard. Blood rushed out from the blade. Seeing that their opponent was bleeding, everyone's expression changed and became even more excited. Previously, they thought that Lin Rei was unreachable. But now, there was nothing to fear anymore. Just as everyone was moving, Lin Rei, who was lost in his memories, was awakened by the pain. Without wrinkling his brows, he lowered his head and looked at his chest. Drops of blood were flowing out from his wound. It was like a fountain, flowing without restraint. Looking at the wound, Lin Rei came to a realization. How long has it been since he bled? Lin Rei wasn't sure about this. With his previous body's powerful physical body, even if a hierarch realm cultivator directly slashed at him, Lin Rei wouldn't feel the slightest pain, let alone bleeding. But now? His body was weak and he didn't have the slightest strength to resist. He didn't even have the strength to truss up a chicken. The difference between the two was like heaven and earth. Looking at the blood flowing out, Lin Rei didn't care about it. He smiled bitterly. Little dragon, just you wait. Don't think that I will let you go in today's situation. Ah! In the divine realm, the little dragon who was resting suddenly woke up and sneezed. He was stunned on the spot. Holy shit, I can get sick too. Catch a cold and sneeze? This was a very important question. How could a spirit like the little dragon get sick? It was impossible for it to die from old age unless the spirit didn't have enough energy and eventually dissipated. Obviously, the last point did not fit. Otherwise, the little dragon would not have been able to live for so many years. Of course, there was also the possibility that the little dragon would be destroyed if the system was destroyed. That was the only possibility. What's going on? Is some unlucky bastard cursing me? The little dragon wasn't bothered by this question. Since it couldn't figure it out, it went back into slumber. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't know that his words had been sensed by the little dragon. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't have the time to care about these taboos. He recovered from his broken memories, and without raising his head, he waved his hand. The dozen or so guards who were already within reach instantly froze in place. With such a big commotion at the entrance of the capital, how could it not attract attention? Especially the passers-by. At this moment, the entrance of the capital was completely blocked. It was packed with people. However, there was not a single person in the area where Lin Rei was. It was for no other reason than to become stronger. It was for these people to stay and watch the show. Raising his head, Lin Rei's eyes swept across the dozen or so people who were frozen. Looking at them, Lin Rei's eyes became even colder. They were capable enough to injure him. However, he wasn't the kind of person who cherished talent. Moreover, was this group of people? Obviously not. Lin Rei's life was like this. If there was a grudge, there would be a grudge. If there was a grudge, there would be a grudge. In Lin Rei's eyes, it was all nonsense. To be able to injure me, you guys are very capable. Slowly walking in front of the crowd, he slowly tempted them. The coldness on his face became even more intense. It was as if his aura alone could freeze everyone. Unfortunately, you guys have completely angered this sovereign. Previously, this sovereign's family members were injured here. Now, it's you guys. Since that's the case, there is no need for this city to remain. My reverse scale, those who touch it will die. After saying that, his figure instantly disappeared. In merely a breath's time, Lin Rei's figure returned to his original position. However, in front of the crowd, Lin Rei's figure never disappeared. At this moment, the crowd's hearts could be said to be very interesting. Because of Lin Rei's words earlier, in their eyes, Lin Rei was a fool. There was a problem with men. He was mentally ill. There was no need for the Guangyun Empire to exist. Who the hell do you think you are? A ruler? Or a creator? Fuck, are you playing around? This thought appeared in the crowd's mind. However, they didn't say anything. Just watched the show. This was the mentality and thought of the passers-by. Regarding this, Lin Rei didn't know. Also, he didn't care to know. Ignoring the crowd's gaze, he took a step forward and walked toward the city. Holy shit, why did that person leave? That's right. Why did he leave? Didn't he say that he was going to tear down the empire? These people aren't easy to kill. What he said earlier was all bullsh*t. That's right, he really is a poochie. Strange sounds rang out one after another. At this moment, the person who was speaking suddenly stopped talking. His eyes widened as he looked at the scene in front of him. Cold sweat uncontrollably appeared on his forehead. Plop, the scene in front of him exceeded his imagination. His entire body fell to the ground, trembling. His face was as pale as paper. Seeing the man like this, the crowd was puzzled. It was the man who spoke earlier. Everyone's attention was on him. Therefore, when they saw the man like this, they were puzzled. However, as more and more plopping sounds rang out, the crowd felt that something was wrong. In the end, the bloody scene appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Those who were mentally stronger were still fine and didn't express anything. However, those who had never seen blood before, men and women, fell to the ground one by one. They lowered their heads and vomited. The scene was extremely shocking. How is this possible? When? In the field, the dozen or so guards who didn't stop Lin Rei from leaving had blood spurting out of their necks like a fountain. The scene was very bloody. Strangely, the dozen or so guards were still standing there in a daze and didn't fall. Logically speaking, after a person died and lost their entire body, they shouldn't be able to stand properly and maintain their appearance when they were alive. However, now it appeared. Moreover, it was engraved in everyone's minds. They couldn't erase it even if they wanted to. Lin Rei didn't know that everyone was shocked. At this moment, Lin Rei had already walked into the city. The wound on his chest was no longer bleeding. For such a small wound, as long as he wriggled his muscles to block the wound and used his wood attribute spiritual root to heal it, it would be fine. Regarding this, as a divine venerable, no, as a saint, if he didn't know how to do this, he would probably be laughed to death. Ignoring the wound, Lin Rei raised his head and looked forward. He released his divine sense and the scene within 1,000 miles appeared in his mind. In his mind, a blue silk thread floated in the air. There were similar things around him, but there weren't many of them. Spiritual body? Looking at the existence of those blue silk threads, Lin Rei suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes flashed with joy. Sure enough, Mother came here. Chapter 1095. His original smile disappeared the moment he sensed the spirit body, and it was replaced by boundless anger and killing intent. Since the spirit body had appeared here, it meant that his mother was in danger here. In that case, everyone here could be in danger. In that case, let's go to the palace. Maybe I can find the person I'm looking for faster. I just don't know what the Emperor of the Guanyin Empire will do. Lin Rei didn't want to wait and didn't want to stay in this place. With the existence of the little golden coffin, he couldn't wait to hide in a secluded place and restore his cultivation to the Mahayana realm before ascending. Although it was impossible to ascend in the Tianming realm, at least he had the strength to not know the teleportation array and go to a higher plane to cultivate. But now, forget it, I'll go first. If it doesn't work, I'll just destroy the city. Lin Rei was very disgusted with this method. First, he didn't think he was a bloodthirsty person. Second, he didn't want to expose his identity as a cultivator here. Third, he didn't want his family to be regarded as a monster because of him. But now, if the Emperor of the Guanyin Empire didn't recognize him, the last method was the best. Thinking about it, he looked at the Min siblings beside him. Although he wasn't afraid of the people here, it was still inappropriate to bring 2 children with him. Xue Lingtian, watch these 2 people for me. If something happens to them, you can go sleep with the Tsang dragon. After saying that, he threw Xue Lingtian on the ground. Before Xue Lingtian could react, Lin Rei disappeared at the fastest speed. F***ck, seeing Linli walk away, Sanguis dared to say the words in his heart. Mother****, why did you give me such a miserable job? What are you thinking? I'm a bloodworm of the Great Desolate Era. Do you think I'm a nanny? Blood Lingtian seemed to think that Lin Rei couldn't hear him, so the more he spoke, the more excited he became. But only Lin Rei could understand what he was saying. The Min siblings didn't know anything. The 2 of them stared blankly at the small snake on the ground. Their expressions did not relax in the slightest. They had witnessed the might of the small snake before. Back then, they had encountered a very powerful Yao beast. Originally, Lin Rei had wanted to let Min Tianyu take action to see the results of his cultivation. However, in the end, Min Tianyu was no match for the Yao beast and had almost become the Yao beast's snack. Fortunately, just as the demonic beast was about to reach Min Tianyu, the little snake made its move. Its body instantly became huge, and a bloody mouth appeared, swallowing the demonic beast directly. This scene stunned Min Tianyu and Min Rongrong. Ever since that day, the Min siblings would be very nervous when they saw the little snake. They were so nervous that they did not dare to speak. They were like electric poles standing there. Finally, after scolding for a long time, the little dragon swayed its petite body to the bottom of a nearby building. It raised its tail and waved at Min Tianyu and Min Rongrong, asking them to come over. The two of them did not resist the little snake's order. They nodded their heads stiffly and followed behind the little snake with small steps. They stood behind the little snake and did not speak. As for the Min siblings, the little dragon did not care. It just lay on the ground and seemed to be asleep. However, its divine consciousness was always vigilant to check if there was any danger around. On the other side, Lin Rei left without stopping. His figure flashed quickly and arrived at the imperial palace in the eyes of the world. Standing on the city wall and looking at the imperial palace in front of him, Lin Rei could do nothing but sigh. This place is very similar to the imperial palace in Wuxia. It's just like this. After all, this is an empire that controls millions of miles of territory. The imperial palace is actually so small. Yes, it was small. In Lin Rei's eyes, this place was not even comparable to his Xuanzong sect. However, although it was small, it still had the aura of an emperor. For example, the layout of the imperial palace was very good. Although it was small, the decorations were not bad at all. It looked very luxurious and full of gold. The swaying man threw away all the useless things and released his divine consciousness. The layout of the imperial palace appeared in Lin Rei's mind. Found it. It was not difficult at all. If one wanted to find a person with divine consciousness, it would be useless even if they were hidden deep underground. Of course, unless there were some array formations that isolated divine consciousness, Lin Rei was not afraid. Within his consciousness, in the depths of the imperial palace, there was a huge courtyard. A young man in yellow training clothes was holding a long sword at this moment. He was brandishing a huge set of clothes in his hands. It could be said that he was full of vigor and vigor. Emperor, TSK. Looking at this man, other than sighing, Lin Li's expression also had a trace of pity. A genius with a fire spiritual root of the highest quality. Over the years, he has become such a waste. What a pity. At this moment, it was fortunate that there was no one around. It was even more fortunate that no one knew Lin Rei. Otherwise, his words just now would be enough to shock them to death. What did he mean by a talent that was not bad but became a waste of time? No matter what, he was still a martial saint. How did it become a ruin in your eyes? The emperor of the empire, Li Huangdao, was an early-stage martial sage. He defeated the main force of the empire with his strength alone. He was humble and decisive. Now, in Lin Rei's eyes, Lin Rei's words were simply unbearable. After checking, he stepped into the air and quickly rushed towards Li Huangdao's location. It's that person? At this moment, in a secret room deep in the imperial palace, an old man who was cultivating suddenly opened his eyes. A light flashed in his eyes and his expression was full of vigilance. Based on the aura of the person who came, he could tell that the other party was the spiritual body that had collapsed earlier. Thinking of Lin Rei's strength, the old man sighed in his heart. Forget it. Even if I go out, the result will not change much. Thinking of this, his vigilant expression faded. He closed his eyes again and went back to cultivating. If Li Huangdao knew what the old man was thinking, he would probably kill himself. What did he mean by the result will not change much? Alright, even if the result will not change, you should at least tell me the other party's strength. Unfortunately, Li Huangdao did not know. At this moment, he was still immersed in his sword intent and did not notice that someone had come to his side. Gulp, the sound of flowing water was heard, followed by Lin Rei's voice, "TSK, this tea is not bad. Unfortunately, Jian Wushuang's tea is too weak." "Who is it?" Li Huangdao reacted. Lin Rei's voice was so loud that if he did not reflect on himself, Lin Rei would think that Li Huangdao was deaf. He put down his teacup and looked at Emperor Li. A smile flashed across his face as he said, "I am Lin Li, and I came here to ask who hurt my mother before this. Who is it that has joined the family? Find out who it is and I will let bygones be bygones. Otherwise..." The smile disappeared and killing intent surged. "Oh? Otherwise what?" Without fear in his heart, Lin Rei asked. "The entire imperial palace is the price for not doing as you are told." Chapter 1096. Lin Rei's threatening words instantly stirred up Li Huangdao's calm heart. F***ck, he's here to pick a fight. Li Huangdao was now certain that the young man in front of him was here to pick a fight, but his bragging was a little too much, using the entire empire as the price. "You bastard, why don't you go to heaven?" At this moment, Li Huangdao was extremely displeased with Lin Rei. Disturbing his opinion was already a capital offense, but now he was still so arrogant and insufferably arrogant. If he didn't kill him, who would he kill? "Humph, little brother, one must learn to judge the situation. Are you sure you want to be enemies with my Guanyin Empire?" Little brother?" Hearing how Li Huangdao addressed him, Lin Rei's body trembled, he staggered and almost fell to the ground. F***ck, little brother, I'm old enough to be your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. Of course, after criticizing in his heart for a long time, he still had a smile on his face, there was no change in his expression. Lin Rei had already seen through Li Huangdao, it would be impossible for him to easily give the answer he wanted. Since that was the case, he might as well take action and save himself the trouble. After thinking it through, he raised his head and looked at Li Huangdao, killing intent flashing in his eyes. "Little brat, as you said, one must learn to judge the situation. Don't be fooled by appearances, or you will suffer a great loss. For example." Now, as soon as he finished speaking, Lin Rei's figure instantly disappeared, as if he had never been there. How? Lin Rei's disappearance shocked Li Huangdao quite a bit. After all, people of this level were not famous in the destiny boundary. When Lin Rei disappeared, Li Huangdao's heart inexplicably panicked, but he soon calmed down. After all, he had been here for a long time and was used to seeing big scenes, so there was nothing strange about it. In the instant that Lin Li disappeared, Li Huangdao instantly spread out his senses, inspecting every single blade of grass, every single tree, every single change in the elemental energy ripples around him. For a martial saint, this was easy and pleasant, there was no pressure at all. However, in the next moment, Li Huangdao's face turned solemn. He could not sense Lin Rei's figure at all, not even a trace of his aura. This made Li Huangdao very confused. This shouldn't be the case. Why is this happening? Sensing his surroundings, he scanned his surroundings vigilantly. Now that the other party had not appeared, he could be in danger at any moment. There's nothing wrong with it. Right at this moment, in this quiet space, Lin Li's voice seemed to come from all directions, catching Li Huangdao somewhat off guard. "You? How exactly did you do it?" Looking around, searching for Lin Rei's figure, he asked. Li Huangdao was very confused about this. If a martial saint could not sense a person, then this person either had a very powerful cultivation method or a very powerful cultivation. There was no way to escape from these two choices. In the dark, Lin Rei looked at Li Huangdao in panic for a moment, then calmed down. Seeing this, Lin Rei admired Li Huangdao a little. "Little guy, don't waste your energy. Even if the martial god of your empire is here, I'm afraid he can sense my presence. Do you think he doesn't know that I'm here? He knows that I'm here. If I'm not wrong, the martial god of your empire has already met with my spiritual body. Now that I'm here, he knows that I'm very powerful, so he doesn't dare to appear. Do you think you are a match for me? Or is it that the martial god is your true backer? You actually..." Li Huangdao was shocked. Although it was no secret that there was a martial god in the empire, Li Huangdao had mixed feelings when he learned from Lin Rei that the martial god of his empire had met him. If it was really as Lin Rei said, then, didn't that mean that Lin Rei's cultivation was? Thinking of this, Li Huangdao's eyes changed when he looked at Lin Rei. He was no longer looking at Lin Rei with contempt and arrogance. Instead, he became vigilant and could not let his guard down. From the information just now, he sensed that the young man in front of him might be even more powerful than the old ancestor of his empire. If that was the case, then the young man in front of him was a martial god, or even a martial god in the Great Perfection realm. Not to mention the 4 great empires, only the sects would have such a cultivation level. Lin Rei did not know what Li Huangdao was thinking. Looking at Li Huangdao's changing expression, Lin Rei sneered. "How about it? I'll give you another chance to choose. Do you want to find someone for me, or do you want your empire to be destroyed in your hands?" Lin Rei asked again. However, he did not appear. He was ready to fight at any time. If Li Huangdao still did not agree, then he would be serious. Who cares what other people think? As long as he was happy, he did not care about anything else. Silence. Silence replaced all of Li Huangdao's thoughts. He could not figure out Lin Rei's strength. Now that the old ancestor had not come out of seclusion and Ruo Lin was really a martial god, the entire empire would be in trouble. As the emperor of the empire, he could not afford to offend such a murderous god over such a small matter. As the saying goes, a wise man submits to circumstances. As a smart man, of course, he chose to agree. Looking up at Lin Rei, Li Huangdao nodded. "I can help you find someone." Lin Rei did not say anything. Usually, there would be a "but" after this sentence. He believed that Li Huangdao had not finished his sentence. But, sure enough, Lin Rei's thought came true. Li Huangdao blurted out his "but." "Well, tell me, what is your but?" Lin Rei believed that it was inhumane to make a horse work without feeding it. Similarly, from now on, you will not attack the Guangyun Empire, no matter what the reason is. How about it? Huh? Hearing this condition, Lin Li didn't frown. But then, as if he had thought of something, he nodded and said, "All right, I agree to your condition. Since that's the case, help me find him." "Okay. It's a deal." Seeing Lin Rei agree, Li Huangdao was excited. However, he understood that now was not the time to be excited. Finding someone was the most important thing. "Tell me, who are you looking for? Why would you send out a great Buddha like you?" Li Huangdao said. His expression was full of curiosity. He wanted to know what kind of person could make a martial god come out. He scanned the surroundings with his gaze, waiting for the other party's answer. "My mother appeared in your capital before. However, she seemed to have encountered something that triggered the jade talisman I placed on my mother's body and shattered it. I really want to know who it was that dared to touch my family. Remember my words, no one can touch my mother. Whoever touches her will die. Do you understand?" Chapter 1097. Ma. Mother? Stunned, Li Huangdao stared at his surroundings. Hearing this answer, he was stunned. But then, he was filled with boundless rage. Not only did Linli want to find that person, even he wanted to see for himself who it was that dared to act so audaciously against the family of a war god. Isn't this just the god of longevity hanging himself? Is he tired of living? Furthermore, if you want to die, don't drag me down with you. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that he had been tricked. If it wasn't for this, perhaps he wouldn't be so passive. This was the first time he was treated like this. He felt as if there was a cold light on his back, as if he would lose his life at any moment. Cold sweat flowed down his face, and his face turned slightly pale. That's all. As for helping me find out about the previous fights in the city, tell me when I come over tomorrow. As he spoke, Linli's figure appeared by Li Huangdao's side, and he strode outside. Damn, it can't be, right? He's just beside me. Looking at Lin Rei's figure, Li Huangdao was already numb. Today, Lin Rei had brought him too much shock, and this meal made him numb. Oh, right, don't try to hide it, otherwise. Lin Rei stopped at the door and reminded Li Huangdao who was behind him. At the same time, he looked around, and his eyes were filled with coldness. Understood, understood, understood. Don't worry, I will definitely tell you the answer you want to know. I won't dare to hide anything. And, that's good. I hope you can do as you say. After saying that, Lin Rei stepped into the air and left. Damn it, after watching Lin Rei's figure disappear from his sight, Li Huangdao fell to the ground as if he had lost all his strength. His clothes were soaked in cold sweat. Looks like I have to go to the great ancestor's place. Looking at the direction Lin Rei left, Li Huangdao recovered for a while, then got up and walked towards the depths of the imperial palace. As for the treasured sword on the ground, Li Huangdao was not in the mood to care about it. Right now, he only wanted to know what was going on, and what was the cultivation of that young man just now. If he wanted to know the answer, he could only go to the place where his ancestor lived. With that thought in mind, he sped up, and his body turned into a series of afterimages as he disappeared into the depths of the Emperor Palace. At that moment, the great ancestor of the empire was sitting among them, and he knew that Emperor Li was coming. He withdrew from his cultivation and quietly waited for Li Huangdao's arrival. Although he had long since withdrawn from the matters of the empire, it was still his father who had founded the empire. He did not want the empire to disappear. Time passed by slowly. After a few minutes, Li Huangdao rushed to the door of a secret room. He reached out his hand and knocked on the door. Knock, 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 great ancestor, your descendant Li Huangdao has come to report. Please meet me. He cupped his hands and bowed respectfully. Come in. I've been waiting for you for a long time. An old voice rushed out of the room and entered Li Huangdao's ears. Yes. He bowed and got up to open the door. An old man appeared in Li Huangdao's field of vision. Looking at the old man, Li Huangdao did not say anything. He strode to the old man and knelt down with a plop. All kinds of complicated formalities appeared. Just like that, a long time was wasted. Finally, Li Huangdao finished all the complicated formalities. He then raised his head and did not beat around the bush. He said bluntly, "Great ancestor, someone came just now. His cultivation is very strong. He asked me to help him find his mother. Moreover, that person also said that you have seen that person's spiritual body before. I wonder if this matter, it's true." Before Li Huangdao could finish, the old man directly replied, "That person is very strong. So strong that it makes me feel ashamed. It's like I was a baby in front of that person. I couldn't fight back at all." The old man seemed to recall what had happened before. His body could not help but tremble. How is it possible? If what you said is true, then that person's cultivation is beyond the realm of martial god. Li Huangdao was shocked. He was completely shocked. It was beyond Li Huangdao's imagination. That's right. That person's cultivation has reached an unimaginable level. Therefore, you must try your best to fulfill his request. Do not neglect him. Otherwise, the end result will be the destruction of the empire and it will cease to exist. I understand. He got the answer he wanted. Although the answer was a little unsatisfactory, it was still within his expectations. Oh, by the way, great ancestor, that person just said that his mother was bullied in the capital. You also said that you have seen that person's spiritual body before. Do you know who bullied his mother? That person asked me to tell him the answer tomorrow. Now, I have no clue at all. Li Huangdao could not help but smile bitterly when he thought of Lin Rei's strength. When he thought of how he had overestimated his own strength and wanted to fight with him, he felt that it was very funny. That person's mother? Li Huangdao's words stunned the old man. Damn it, I did see a woman when I went there previously. However, that woman was too young. Although he did not know whether it was true or not, he still said it. I did see one before, but that person was so young that I did not pay too much attention to her. Oh? Who was it? Li Huangdao's eyes lit up when he heard the great ancestor's words. He said excitedly, tell me quickly, who did it? Seeing Li Huangdao's reaction, he smiled and said, it was your beloved concubine's underground. That guy even wanted to do something to her mother. What? Lu family? He was dumbfounded. He did not expect that the person who hurt his mother was from his beloved concubine's family. If that was the case, did that not mean that the royal family was also involved? It's time for the Lu family to take action. Ever since you married that girl, the Lu family has become more and more rampant. They are using the name of the royal family to commit crimes outside. Of course, this is still up to you. After all, I am no longer in charge of the affairs of the imperial palace. The specifics are still up to you. He hesitated. He liked the daughter of the Lu family very much. He also knew some of the Lu family's actions. However, because of the Lu family's daughter, he turned a blind eye to it. However, now it seemed that he was wrong. Alright, you don't have to stay here. That's all I have to say. I'll leave the rest to you. The Lu family, do as you see fit. After saying that, a gentle energy gushed out from the old man's hand and turned into an invisible hand that pushed Li Huangdao out of the door. With a muffled bang, the door closed and the secret room fell into silence. Outside the door, Li Huangdao looked at the door of the secret room with a complicated expression. Now that he knew the answer, the price he had to pay for it was a huge blow to him. He did not know if he should tell them about the Lu family. F***ck, this is really F***king disgusting. Chapter 1098. Li Huangdao cursed in his heart, then turned and left. If he wanted Lin Li to settle the matter with the Lu family, then the final outcome would be to send the Lu family out to be slaughtered by Lin Li. But if that was the case, then the girls of the Lu family, thinking of his beloved concubine, Li Huangdao had a headache. He did not expect that the Lu family would provoke such a powerful existence because of his connivance. He left the imperial palace and walked slowly on the street. At this moment, he was not in a hurry. Since he was already here, he only needed to wait and everything would be done. Walking on the street, looking at the busy traffic and flowers, Lin Rei felt that he could not blend in. The world of mortals is like this. With a long sigh, Lu Changtian's figure appeared in his mind. He wondered why his disciple would appear here, and why was Lu Changtian with his mother? Why did they come here? A big question flashed in Lin Rei's mind. He did not understand why his mother would appear here. As for the Lin family, how was it now? Lu Changtian, who was far away from the capital, did not know that while he was waiting for Hong Si to recover, Lin Rui, his master, had already arrived at the Guanyin Empire and went straight to the imperial palace to seek help from the imperial lord. If Lu Changtian knew about such boldness, he would be speechless. But unfortunately, Lu Changtian did not know. At this moment, he was still waiting. I wonder where this brat is now. While walking, Lin Rui released his divine sense to search for Lu Changtian's whereabouts. At first, he thought that Lu Changtian should still be in the capital, but he did not find Lu Changtian's figure along the way. Now that he thought about it, Lu Changtian was probably not here. Thinking about it, he shook his head with a wry smile and stopped searching. He withdrew his divine sense and continued to stroll leisurely like an old man. The only thing missing was that he was carrying a birdcage. Lin Rui was happy and relaxed, but Li Huangdao, on the other hand, was not the same. He panicked when he thought about how quickly the day would pass. How can I kill two birds with one stone? Not only can I hand over the Lu family, but I can also protect my wife from being implicated. Ruo Lin and Lei knew what he was thinking. They were afraid that other than a sneer, there was some other expression on their faces. Even a hero could not resist the charms of a beauty. What did it have to do with him? All he wanted was the name of the Lu family. As for who he would kill, that would depend on the situation. Jia. The sound of a door opening entered Li Huangdao's ears. Li Huangdao, who was deep in thought, snapped out of his thoughts when he heard this sound. He turned his head and saw a seemingly weak but well-educated woman appear in front of him. Why are you here? Lu Linglong, the youngest daughter of the Lu family, was now Li Huangdao's wife. Her cultivation was close to the martial king realm. She had broken through to the martial king realm at such a young age. She was a shocking genius. After entering, she saw Li Huangdao frowning. He looked like he had a lot on his mind. She did not know why, but her heart suddenly tightened. She felt like something had happened that Li Huangdao could not solve. Yi Futian walked towards Li Huangdao and smiled. Huangdao, what's the matter? Li Huangdao asked. As the ruler of an empire, she had never seen Li Huangdao with such an expression. No, never. Even when the army was pressing on the border, Li Huangdao's expression would not change. But now, what had happened? Lu Linglong did not know, but as a smart woman, she knew that if Li Huangdao did not want to say, she would pretend that she did not know anything. Sometimes, pretending to be stupid was a blessing. It's nothing. Li Huangdao did not tell her about the Lu family. He did not want to see Lu Linglong fall out with him because of this. But to Lin Rui, he still had to tell him about the Lu family. Otherwise, the entire empire would be in danger. Even if there were some contradictions, even if Lu Linglong found out that the truth was in his favor, he did not care. At least, he had to get through this. Looking at Lu Linglong's smile, Li Huangdao made a decision. He got up and led Lu Linglong outside. The weather is good today. Let me take you out for a walk. Okay. After Lin Rui came out of the imperial palace, he walked slowly to the place where he had agreed to meet with Xueling Tian. Along the way, he saw people coming and going, which made him feel better. Xuanwu Street, the place where he had agreed to meet with Xueling Tian. Lin Rui looked around and saw the Min siblings sitting obediently in the corner. As for Blood Spirit Sky, he was currently lying down to one side, sleeping comfortably. He was living a very comfortable and carefree life. Looking at Blood Spirit Sky, Linli was stunned. His eyes narrowed, and he took a step forward, instantly arriving in front of Blood Spirit Sky. Not bad, Xueling Tian. Sleeping happily. What did I ask you to do? His voice was accompanied by a terrifying pressure that crushed down on Xueling Tian. Boom, a muffled sound echoed in Xueling Tian's mind. He could not move his body. Shui Lingtian, who had fallen into a deep sleep, woke up from his dream. Damn it! He could see Lin Rei's figure, but he did not even have the strength to raise his head. It could not be said that he did not have the strength. It could only be said that his body was no longer under his control. You. When did you come? He asked Lin Rei through divine sense. Just now, you brat. I asked you to look after these two brats, but you actually fell asleep. Did I ask you to come here to sleep? Lin Rei had had enough of Shui Lingtian's laziness. Chapter 1099. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, Lin Rei had been in the capital for a day. Since entering the imperial palace, Lin Rei had been staying in the inn and had not left. Outside the city, Lu Changtian sat here and waited for Hong Si for a while. He regretted that he had hit Hong Si too hard while checking his injuries. In this regard, he could not help but marvel at the elixir that Lin Rei gave him. It should take a long time to recover from broken limbs. However, a single elixir could almost heal this kind of injury in 1 or 2 days, although the bones might not be used to it. After checking that Hong Si's injuries were almost healed, Lu Changtian finally smiled. Damn, it's finally healed. He got up and came to Hong Si's side and said, "Get up quickly. I gave you the elixir to heal you, not to let you enjoy life." Oh. Hong Si, who was recovering, heard this voice and opened his eyes. He nodded with fear in his eyes. "Senpai, we are now," as he spoke, he got up and patted the dust off his body. He frowned slightly when he felt some pain in his limbs. To kill someone. Since you're awake, accompany me to kill someone. Let's settle our previous scores. With that, Lu Changtian did not waste any more time. He took Hong Si to Guochong at an astonishing speed. Having wasted some time, Lu Changtian wanted to end this matter as soon as possible so that he could return to the Divine Valley to cultivate and break through the martial god's nascent soul transformation realm. Thinking of this, his heart trembled and he sped up. This made Hong Si, who was behind him, a little speechless. He still had a smile on his face, but he was crying in his heart. What did it mean to suffer in silence? What did it mean to be speechless? What did it mean to swallow your broken teeth? Hong Si was the best example at this moment. Lu Changtian sped up, and he had to speed up as well. His limbs had just been reconnected, and speeding up might cause his limbs to break again. But he had no choice. He did not dare to stop, or he could not guarantee that he would survive. In the capital, Lu Changtian brought Hong Si to the entrance of the Long residence. Long Yaoyang seemed to have known that Lu Changtian was coming in advance. He was waiting at the entrance. When he saw Lu Changtian, he smiled and stepped forward to welcome him. "Senior Lu Changtian, you're finally here." As he spoke, a piece of paper appeared in front of Lu Changtian. "Senior, this is the list that you asked me to prepare. Everything that you want is on it." Long Yaoyang went straight to the point and was very decisive. "Oh? You didn't miss anything, right?" Lu Changtian frowned as he took the paper and looked at the names of the clans and sects that were densely packed together. Among them, he saw the name of the Guang Yun Empire. Of course, the Cloud Wind sect was among them as well. These two colossal forces both had martial gods overseeing them. The Lu clan was a huge clan located in the center of the imperial city. Naturally, they occupied a large area. Especially after their daughter was favored, the Lu clan expanded to boundless size. Lu Changtian finally arrived at the gate of the Lu clan with Hong Si. Looking at the gate of the Lu clan, Lu Changtian was stunned. This shouldn't be worse than the imperial palace, right? Thinking about the entrance of the Long family, compared to it, it was like a small child meeting a big one. How could it be compared? Let's go, he said to Hong Si behind him and walked toward the Lu clan. Clang! The sound of weapons colliding was heard. Two guards at the gate saw Lu Changtian coming and reached out with their weapons to block Lu Changtian's path. Who are you? Don't you need to tell the Lu clan's brothers that outsiders are not allowed to enter? At this moment, one of the guards spoke. Oh? Is that so? Looking at the two guards, Lu Changtian's face became gloomier. He was here to kill, so he naturally didn't say anything to them. As soon as he finished speaking, a hand moved quickly and came to the front of one of the guards in an instant, choking his neck. The Lu clan must be destroyed today. Chapter 1100. Carrying a guard, he shouted at the top of his lungs. His voice was mixed with Yuanli, and he didn't care about the Lu family at all. His voice was so loud that it seemed to pierce through the sky. Within a radius of 10,000 meters, it was Lu Changtian's voice. Lu family. Lu Qingzhou was originally waiting for news from Hong Si. After all, with Hong Si's strength, Lu Qingzhou believed that he should be able to complete the task soon. Just as Lu Qingzhou was having a headache dealing with family affairs, Lu Changtian's voice came into Lu Qingzhou's ears. With a bang, the jade slip in his hand fell on the table. He looked up at the door and frowned. His face became gloomy. Since the Lu family was built in the capital, no one had dared to provoke the Lu family so unscrupulously for 100 years. Now, there was such a reckless person. This was not only a provocation to the Lu family, but also a provocation to Lu Qingzhou. How could he tolerate this? Bang! The door was pushed open. A subordinate walked in and came to Lu Qingzhou. He bowed and said, "Family head. Go. Send someone to capture this reckless fool. Skin him alive, pull out his tendons, and light up a sky lantern. Let everyone in the capital know that the Lu family is not something they can invade. And this is the result of offending the Lu family. Even the 9 generations will die." Lu Qingzhou said. His words were full of indifference and murderous intent. It seemed that he was really angry. "Yes, I will go now." As Lu Qingzhou's guard, he naturally understood what he meant. He didn't delay and turned to leave. Dong! The door was closed. Lu Qingzhou's face looked better, but his previous mood was completely gone. Dealing with family affairs no longer existed. Lu Qingzhou was already sad about Lu Tianxiang's death. Now that this happened, Lu Qingzhou couldn't accept it. At the gate of the Lu family, after shouting to the Lu family, the sound of bones breaking came to everyone's ears. "You!" When the other guard heard the sound of bones breaking, his expression changed. As a martial artist, he naturally knew what this meant. His companions, his fellow clansmen, had been chatting and laughing just a moment ago, but now, they were all dead. Moreover, he could not accept this kind of death. He had never thought that someone would dare to be so unscrupulous in front of the gate of the Lu clan. His body slowly retreated backward. He was afraid. His previous threatening tone towards Lu Changtian made him feel like he was courting death. Yes, courting death. Facing someone who was stronger than him and not afraid of the Lu clan, what else could it be other than courting death? Bang! With a loud bang, Lu Changtian threw away the weapon in his hand. He looked at the other guard who was retreating and trying to escape. Murderous intent flashed across his eyes as he looked at him. His tone was cold as he said, "Can we talk?" "I have already said that today, the Lu family must perish. It doesn't matter who comes. Do you want me to become a person who breaks my promises?" After saying that, his figure flashed quickly. Crack! The sound of another number was heard. The 2 guards outside the Lu family were easily killed. However, this was not the end. Because Lu Tianxiang's actions had already determined the fate of the Lu family. Death was the only path that the Lu family could face now. Lu Changtian did not care about the two dead people at all. It shouldn't be difficult for you to deal with the small fries outside, right? He said to Hong Si without looking back. He believed that although Hong Si's limbs had not fully recovered, he could still deal with these people. Otherwise, he would not be a martial arts grandmaster. Hong Si's answer did not disappoint Lu Changtian. He nodded and said, "No problem. You can go in. Leave the outside to me." "Okay. Be careful. Leave no one alive." He nodded and stepped into the gate of the Lin family. The street outside the gate of the Lu family was already crowded at this moment. Everyone had different expressions on their faces. Some were gloating, some were regretful, some were angry, and some were just watching a show. Most of these people had been persecuted by Lu Tianxiang, especially those with cold and murderous expressions. They could not wait for the Lu family to perish so that their persecuted families could rest in peace. Lu Changtian did not have a chance to deal with the outside of the Lu family. Hong Si alone was enough. Lu Changtian was not worried at all about this. As for the Lu family? Oh, the best cultivation in the Lu family just now was the martial arts grandmaster great completeness. There were no martial venerables. Of course, even if there were martial arts grandmasters, Lu Changtian was not afraid at all. Even the martial arts sage Lu Changtian could be killed, let alone martial venerables at the same level. He used the butterfly steps and quickly avoided some unnecessary people. He wanted cultivators above the martial king realm. Hong Si could deal with cultivators below the martial king realm. As for martial kings, with the strength of Hong Si's limbs, it would be difficult for him to deal with them. "Bastard, do you know that this is the Lu family? Don't you know that the young lady of the Lu family is now the emperor's woman? Do you?" Just as Lu Changtian was about to enter the inner courtyard of the Lu family, a group of people rushed out and blocked Lu Changtian's way. One of the martial kings walked out and pointed at Lu Changtian to threaten him. "Bastard, come here quickly. Kneel on the ground and kowtow a few times. Maybe I'll be happy and leave your corpse intact." "Ha ha ha, old Shi, you're right." Lu Changtian, who was now opposite them, looked very ugly. This was the first time he had been provoked today. Lu Changtian did not understand. He really could not figure out where the people of the Lu family got the confidence to make them act like this. Did they think that in this world, other than the Lu family, no one else was strong? He really could not figure it out. However, Lu Changtian abandoned this thought. He did not want to think about it anymore because it was not important to him. What was important was that these people in front of him had to die. They dared to have evil thoughts about Huiyun. It did not matter if it was them or not, as long as they were related to them. Seeing them speak without restraint, Lu Changtian did not do anything but sneer. "Oh, you're still not talking? Good. In that case, old Shi, go and kill him. Let him know that the Lu family, whoosh." "Kacha," the voice stopped abruptly. Before the man finished speaking, his voice stopped. Everyone's eyes widened. Their faces were filled with disbelief and horror. Their bodies could not help but retreat. The man who spoke before now had one hand on his neck. His head seemed to have lost the support of his spine and was tilted to the side. "You talk too much nonsense. Only death can make you completely quiet." Before Li Huangdao could finish, Lin Rei's voice rang out. His voice was indifferent and emotionless, but Li Huangdao could feel the extreme anger in Lin Rei's heart. It seemed that he was really angry. Turning around, ignoring Li Huangdao, he walked out. After Lin Rei left, the silent space disappeared with Lin Rei's figure. Huff, huff, too strong. Just his aura alone is so strong. Li Huangdao was very shocked by the oppressive feeling just now. I really don't know how strong this person's cultivation is. Inside the Lu family, Lu Changtian had killed his way here. At this moment, Lu Changtian finally met someone who could make him open his eyes. Good, finally an interesting person. Looking at the young man, Lu Changtian spoke softly. Looking at Lu Changtian, the man was stunned. His face instantly became gloomy, and his voice was filled with killing intent. You are the one who came to my Lu family and threatened to destroy my Lu family? This person was none other than the subordinate who was sent by Lu Qingzhou to capture Lu Changtian. Yes. Lu Changtian nodded without hesitation. In his opinion, there was no need to hide. Then, die. As soon as Lu Changtian finished speaking, the man moved. His figure turned into a shadow and disappeared in front of Lu Changtian. Ha, interesting. The man's disappearance did not scare Lu Changtian. However, Lu Changtian felt that the man was a bit interesting. It was not because of the man's cultivation, but because of the man's speed of improvement. This step doesn't look very advanced, but it can increase your speed. It's not simple. Lu Changtian commented. Humph, you have some insight, but it's useless. This can't prevent your fate of being killed. However, you should feel gratified to be able to die under Yesherbu. The man's voice came from all directions. Yesherbu? He had never heard of this name before. However, looking at the speed of the man's steps, it should have reached the standard. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to have such speed. With the man's current speed, he should be able to reach the peak of martial great realm, or even close to the speed of an early-stage martial revered realm. Puchi. The sound of something breaking through the air came from behind. Coldness instantly engulfed Lu Changtian's heart. Humph, you're courting death. Although Lu Changtian did not understand Yesherbu, it was a pity that the man had not completely mastered it. Otherwise, his speed would be even faster. At the same time, there was a fatal flaw. The difference in cultivation between the man and Lu Changtian was a fixed condition. There was no way to make up for it. So what if the man had steps to replace it? Did Lu Changtian not have them? What a joke! Hearing the sound of something breaking through the air behind him, Lu Changtian tilted his head to the left. A 1-meter-long cold light rushed out from behind him. The cold light on the light made one's hair stand on end. This sword was very powerful. If not for Lu Changtian's cultivation and strong perception, he would have been hit by this sword. Your speed is not bad, but your explosive power is still not enough. After dodging the sword, Lu Changtian quickly retreated, leaving the range of the man's attack. At this time, Lu Changtian could not help but open his mouth to give the man pointers. The atmosphere completely changed. What was originally a battle of life and death was now turned into a sparring session. Especially the man, after hearing Lu Changtian's pointers, his face instantly darkened. Originally, the man had already lost face after not being able to hit the target with one attack. Now that he was being taught sword techniques by the other party, he could not accept this. Son of AB*TCH, shut up. Angry, he raised his sword and roared at Lu Changtian. Following that, he used Yesherbu again and disappeared in front of Lu Changtian's eyes. AI, forget it. Since you don't have a good memory, then there's nothing I can do. Anyway, it's useless for a dead person to know. Yes, it's enough. Yesherbu, Lu Changtian sighed and shook his head as if he had missed a treasure. His face was full of regret. Humph, shameless boasting. Hearing Lu Changtian's words, the man did not think that Lu Changtian was very strong. Instead, he felt that Lu Changtian was boasting shamelessly. Die for me. Chapter 1102. The battle was on the verge of breaking out. Basically, Lu Changtian was killing them one-sidedly. Because of the difference in cultivation level and the pressure of his aura, those martial cultivators below revered martial artist instantly lost their will to fight against Lu Changtian. The only person who could survive Lu Changtian's attack was the man who knew Yesherbu. Of course, the man was not particularly busy. He was in a miserable state, kneeling on the ground on one knee. His entire body was covered in blood and wounds. His clothes were tattered. Even a beggar would be in a better state than him right now. The quiet and secluded path was originally peaceful. But now, it was filled with terror, blood, and corpses. Blood had already dyed the path red. The scene was exceptionally beautiful. TSK, Yesherbu is indeed powerful. A mere martial ancestor realm cultivator could survive my attacks until now. I have to say, you are a talent. But, if you were not in the Lu clan, perhaps I could have let you go. With your cultivation level, I believe you would be an elder anywhere. What a pity. Looking at the man, Lu Zhangtian's face was filled with pity. Lu Zhangtian was fond of this man, but... Pooh, he spat out a mouthful of blood. His face turned even paler and his body trembled. He supported himself with one hand on the ground and the other on his chest. Enduring the pain, he raised his head and looked at Lu Changtian. The murderous intent in his eyes grew even stronger. The winner is king and the loser is a bandit. In this man-eat-man world, there is nothing to feel pity about. Today, the Lu clan has fallen. But can you guarantee that you won't capsize? You don't really think you are invincible, do you? Do you really think no one in the Lu clan can take care of you? Even if the Lu clan doesn't, does the empire not? The young lady of the Lu clan is the emperor's woman. Do you think you are stronger than the empire? The man's face was full of provocation. I'm not afraid to tell you that the Lu family has already asked the empire for help. I believe that it won't be long before the empire sends powerful martial cultivators to assist the Lu family. When that time comes, you and the woman you want to protect the most will die. You will all pay a painful price for offending the Lu family. Hearing these words, a terrifying killing intent gushed out from Lu Changtian's body, and his face became even more ghastly. You're courting death. Heh, courting death? After joining the Lu family, I never thought that I would be able to survive. Furthermore, as a martial cultivator, the moment I stepped onto the path of martial cultivation, I was already standing on the edge of life and death. Life and death are insignificant to martial cultivators. Perhaps this is a kind of release. Escape from this man-eat-man environment. Cannibalism? Seeing that the man no longer had any desire to live, Lu Changtian knew that the man in front of him had already become indifferent to life and death. Whether it's life or death, it may seem like what you said, but to me, martial cultivators are fighting against the heavens, and even more so, for life and death. Then, he walked towards the man. Although his speed seemed slow, Lu Changtian arrived in front of the man in one step. Life and death may not be important to you, but not all martial cultivators think the same as you. At least, I do. I don't want to die. The world is so big, and I haven't seen it properly. I haven't even experienced the power of this world. It would be a pity to die. Just for this, I have to work hard to cultivate. I have to cultivate until I can surpass the existence of this world, surpass time, and even surpass the existence of death. Heh, forget it. It's useless to say so much. Anyway, no matter what, go in peace. I believe that you won't be lonely, because the entire Lu family will be with you soon. Oh, right, I forgot to tell you. If the Lu family really asked the Empire for help, do you think it's normal for the Empire to not come after such a long time? You The man was shocked. Yes, with the strength of the empire, such a long time should be enough for them to come. But now? Let alone help, there wasn't even a shadow of the empire. It was as if the empire didn't receive the news. Thinking of this, the man's face suddenly changed. Any smart person would have thought of something. He raised his head and looked at Lu Changtian. The original madness in his eyes changed to fear and panic. Yes, panic. No matter how scared and worried he was, these were not what he was worried about now. Crack, with fear, he was very worried. Lu Changtian ended his life just like that. Until his death, the man couldn't figure out why the empire didn't help. Of course, it wasn't just the man. Even Lu Changtian couldn't figure it out. What he said just now was completely a guess. Now that he realized it, it was indeed a bit strange. Throwing the man's body aside, he looked in the direction of the imperial palace with a puzzled expression. The empire, what is this Guang Yun empire thinking? Logically speaking, with such a big movement in the Lu family, they should have received the news. And, he wanted to say something but hesitated. In the end, he didn't say anything. Forget it, who knows what they are thinking. Anyway, I will do my own thing. Whoever dares to stop me will die. After thinking it through, he didn't stay and stepped out of this bloody place. At this moment, the entire Lu family had turned into an Azura battlefield. The smell of blood had taken over the Lu family. The once luxurious, extravagant, and beautiful Lu family had completely turned into a land of blood. If a strong warrior flew to the sky and looked down on the entire Lu family, he would be able to see that the whole place was dyed red. In the depths of the Lu family, Lu Qingzhou waited for a long time. He still didn't see his subordinates coming to report back. His originally angry heart became even more angry. F***ck, this group of trash. Why is it so hard to get them to do something? Talking to himself, he got up and planned to leave to deal with it personally. He wanted to see who was so good. Bang! Just when Lu Qingzhou got up and wanted to deal with it personally, the door was suddenly pushed open. Lu Qingzhou, who was about to move, suddenly stopped. He looked up and saw an old man appear in his sight. Looking at the old man, Lu Qingzhou was dumbfounded. F***ck, what's going on? Isn't this the old ancestor? That's right, this was the Lu family's complete martial ancestor realm expert. The Lu family's old ancestor was in seclusion and didn't come out. His temper wasn't very good. But what was the situation now? Looking at the old man, Lu Qingzhou was completely dumbfounded. His brain instantly lost the ability to think. What? Are you surprised to see me? Looking at Lu Qingzhou, the old man's expression froze. No, why did you come out? Looking at the old man, Lu Qingzhou asked doubtfully. Sigh. Looking at Lu Qingzhou's doubtful gaze, the old man sighed. He understood that Lu Qingzhou probably still didn't know what was going on. Chapter 1103. Lu Qingzhou, right? The old man said. Yes. Lu Qingzhou did not dare to be negligent. Although he was the family head of this generation, it would be easy for the old man to take the position of family head. First, the old man's identity. If they were to talk about identity, the old man's identity was much nobler than his, and his bloodline was purer. Second, the old man's cultivation was at the peak of the martial ancestor realm. If he advanced further, he would be at the martial saint realm. This was very useful for the future development of the Lu family. If the old man broke through to the martial saint realm, then other than the emperor clan, only the Lu family would be left. Looking at Lu Qingzhou, the old man nodded, but his expression was very ugly and serious. Lu Qingzhou, now that the family is in danger, I have no choice but to come out. Originally, the Lu family was just a place for me to go into seclusion, but when I thought of the original intention of the Lu family, my heart softened. What? The Lu family is in danger? Without waiting for the old man to finish speaking, Lu Qingzhou spoke. His words were filled with doubt and confusion. Danger? He didn't understand what the old man meant. In his opinion, the Lu family's current situation could be described as smooth sailing, so smooth that it couldn't get any smoother. Why did the old man say that it was a crisis? Heh, it seems that you really don't know anything. Without a chance, Lu Qingzhou interrupted him. A mocking expression appeared on his face. The Lu family was broken through by an expert, and now the Lu family is flowing with blood. Tell me, isn't the Lu family in danger? I'm not afraid to tell you that even if I were to personally attack, I'm afraid I wouldn't be a match for that person, so, in a while, I'll try my best to explain the matter clearly. If there really is a misunderstanding, it's best if it can be solved. At most, we'll lose the Lu family's wealth, but if it can't be solved, then, at this point, his words came to an abrupt end, and his expression became more and more ugly. A person had rushed into the Lu family and wantonly killed. This kind of attitude had already explained everything. It was just that the old man always felt lucky. That's impossible. Lu Qingzhou still could not believe it. After all, the Lu family was now connected to the emperor. Who would be so reckless? Forget it. Let's go. Once we're here and see everything that's happening in the Lu family, you'll understand whether or not my words are true. Without waiting for Lu Qingzhou's agreement, he turned around and left the room. As for Lu Qingzhou, although he was extremely unwilling in his heart, he still had no choice but to follow behind. On the way, Lu Qingzhou's heart was beating like a drum. After all, the old man would not come out under normal circumstances. Looking at Hongxi, Lin Rei stopped and asked. Little brother, are you from the Lu family? No. Little brother, are you related to the Lu family? No. Seeing how long-winded Hongxi was, Lin Rei's face turned cold. He said impatiently, Okay, stop asking. I have nothing to do with the Lu family. But I still want to enter the Lu family. So, get out of my way. Don't make unnecessary sacrifices. You can't stop me. Lin Rei was not lying about this. If Lu Changtian saw Lin Rei here, he would probably retreat in fear. However, Hongxi did not know Lin Rei and did not understand Lin Rei's strength. As a martial arts grandmaster, how could Hongxi tolerate such provocation? Little brother, be careful with your words. Trouble comes from the mouth. Sometimes, people will die. Humph. Ignoring Hongxi, Lin Fan snorted and walked toward the Lu family. He glanced at Hongxi and walked toward the Lu family. Sure. Since you want to die, then die. Seeing that Lin Rei did not know what was good for him and even dared to ignore him, how could he tolerate it? His cultivation erupted in an instant. In a flash, he appeared in front of Lin Rei. He raised his sandbag-sized fist and punched at Lin Rei's face. Hongxi used 90% of his strength in this punch. He was going to kill Lin Rei. You're overestimating yourself. Lin Li was well aware of Hongxi's actions. He felt helpless about Hongxi's actions. No, it could be said that Hongxi disdained to kill him. Forget it. Since you killed the Lu family, I'll spare your life today. As he spoke, he released his pressure and instantly shrouded Hongxi, who was rushing toward him. Boom! A cultivator's pressure was not something a martial arts practitioner could resist. The moment the pressure shrouded Hongxi, he was pressed to the ground and looked very embarrassed. Remember, don't be so reckless next time. You'll die. Chapter 1104. Lin Rei returned the same words to Hong Si. How ironic it was for Hong Si. With great difficulty, he raised his head. As he looked at Linley, the look in his eyes was no longer the same as before. Instead, it was complicated and filled with terror. To be able to suppress him to the point that he couldn't move without making a move, even Lu Changtian wouldn't be able to do that. Hong Si understood that he was no match for the person in front of him. Even Lu Changtian from the Lu family courtyard might not be able to survive one move from the person in front of him. Lin Rei did not know what Hong Si was thinking. He ignored Hong Si, who was lying on the ground, and stepped into the Lu family. F***ck, is he, a big shot? Yeah, isn't he too powerful? Just by releasing his aura, he can suppress this person to the point that he can't fight back. How terrifying is the cultivation of such a person? At this moment, the onlookers were shocked by the scene in front of them. The most shocked one was the man who wanted to stop Lin Rei before. The strength that Lin Rei showed at this moment was enough to prove that there was no problem for him to enter the Lu family. However, he stupidly went forward to stop him. Thinking of this, the man's face turned red. Stepping into the courtyard, looking at the corpses all over the ground and the rivers of blood, it was as terrifying as the scene of Azura. Who on earth is it? Interesting. Looking at the scene in front of him, Lin Rei smiled. Then he released his divine sense and enveloped the entire Lu family in an instant. In the next moment, the entire Lu family turned into a 3D image that appeared clearly in Lin Rei's mind. Lu Changtian is also here? The moment he saw the figure in the depths of the Lu family, Lin Rei was stunned and then recovered. It seems that everything that happened in the Lu family was caused by this guy. If that's the case, isn't the guy at the gate? Looking at Lu Changtian's figure, Lin Rei thought of the bloody man who stopped him at the gate and smiled awkwardly. He immediately withdrew his coercion and transmitted his voice to Hong Si. Once you enter the Lu family, don't even think about running away. You should know that you can't escape. These words echoed in the mind of Hong Si, who was lying on the ground outside the gate of the Lu family. F***ck me. What's the situation? The voice came too suddenly, and he still remembered this voice. It was the voice of the young man just now. What shocked Hong Si was that the man had already entered the Lu family, but now the voice was ringing in his mind. Turning his head to look at the onlookers, Hong Si was sure that he was the only one who heard the commotion just now. Forget it, let's go in first. Hong Si jumped up from the ground and stretched his body. After feeling the pain from the coercion disappear, he stepped into the Lu family. With a muffled thud, Hong Si entered the Lu family. He didn't forget to pay attention to the gate. What did he mean by, leave no one alive? That was it. However, anyone who showed signs of life in the Lu family, whether human or beast, must die. After closing the gate, he trotted to catch up with Lin Rei. He didn't dare to move behind Lin Rei, as if he was afraid of angering Lin Rei. Looking at Hong Si, Lin Rei smiled and said, "How do you know my disciple?" Hong Si. Lin Rei's sudden words made Hong Si confused. Your disciple? What disciple? Since when did I know your disciple? Brother, you should at least make it clear. Looking at Lin Rei, Hong Si was going crazy. Senior, your disciple is. Hong Si resisted the urge to beat him up and asked. Oh, I forgot to tell you. My disciple is Lu Changtian. Boom. The news exploded in Hong Si's mind like a bolt from the blue. For a moment, Hong Si couldn't wrap his head around it. Lu Changtian is your disciple? F***ck, who else could it be? Lu Changtian is much older than you. How can you be Lu Changtian's master? Are you kidding? At this moment, Hong Xi's first thought was disbelief. After all, there was an age gap between them. Although the other party's cultivation was very high, Hong Xi still didn't believe it. You don't believe me? Seeing that Hong Xi didn't say anything, Lin Rui frowned and asked. Well. Seeing Lin Rui's face darkening, Hong Xi was stunned and then quickly explained, Senior, it's not that I don't believe you, but your age is really, well, you'll understand when we get there. Lin Li didn't say anything else. He understood that because he was too young, it was normal that the other party didn't believe him. As for how the two of them had met, Lin Li also understood that he wouldn't be able to ask about it now. Since there was nothing to say, he naturally quickened his pace. He wasn't worried about Lu Changtian at all. After all, who taught Lu Changtian? Moreover, he had just checked. In the entire Lu family, the strongest cultivation was only at the martial grandmaster great perfection. Lu Changtian's cultivation was at the martial venerable realm, so Lin Rui wasn't worried at all. As Lin Rui thought, Lu Changtian successfully met the warrior at the martial grandmaster great perfection. At first sight of Lu Changtian, Lu Qingzhou's heart skipped a beat. He understood that what the great ancestor said was true because Lu Changtian's clothes were stained with blood, but his clothes weren't torn. Obviously, the blood belonged to someone else. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lu Qingzhou stepped forward and said, Senior, how did my Lu family offend you? Why did you come to my Lu family to kill us so ruthlessly? The Lu family great ancestor behind Lu Qingzhou frowned slightly when he saw Lu Qingzhou being so reckless. His expression became ugly. He really couldn't figure out how such a person could be qualified for the position of the Lu family head. Of course, now was obviously not the time to think about this. If it were today, the Lu family's situation would change. Of course. The premise was that the Lu family could survive this time. Otherwise, everything would be in vain. Ignoring Lu Qingzhou's barking, Lu Changtian also looked at the old man behind Lu Qingzhou. Lu Changtian could feel that this should be the great ancestor of the Lu family. Looking at the old man, Lu Changtian cupped his hands and said, I am Lu Changtian of the Lin family. This time, I came for no other reason than to destroy the Lu family. He went straight to the point and didn't hide anything. If someone weaker said this, they probably wouldn't be able to leave the Lu clan today. Unfortunately, Lu Changtian's cultivation level was very high, so he didn't have any scruples. Lu Changtian? Hearing Lu Changtian introduce himself, he frowned and repeated softly. Then, he cupped his hands and responded. Lu Qingbai of the Lu family, the third-generation elder of the Lu family. A very simple sentence was enough to explain Lu Qingbai's status. Lu Qingbai? Looking at the old man, Lu Changtian continued, in that case, let's get this over with quickly. I don't like to waste time. In the dark, Lin Rui, who had already arrived, heard Lu Changtian's words. He rolled his eyes and said angrily, F***ck, this bastard actually stole my words. It seems that the previous training was too easy. As he spoke, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly and a smile appeared. However, this smile didn't have the slightest gentle feeling in the eyes of Hong Xi. In addition to coldness, there was only fear. Senior, you are really unlucky this time. I wish you good luck. Looking at Lu Changtian, Hong Xi silently mourned in his heart. On the other side, Lu Changtian didn't know that Lin Rui had arrived. At this moment, the yuan qi in his body had accumulated to a peak and was about to erupt. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lu Qingbai sighed. Is there no room for redemption? Can you tell me why you want to destroy my Lu family? Lu Qingbai understood that the Lu family had forgotten today. However, he wanted to understand why the man in front of him had to destroy the Lu family. Looking at Lu Qingbai, Lu Changtian didn't hide anything and said, Lu Tianxiang of the Lu family touched someone he shouldn't have and hurt that person. Therefore, he must die. And as the price for hurting that person, the entire Lu family must be destroyed. Of course, you may not believe it. Even if I didn't come today, another person will come soon. If that person comes, then your Lu family won't be as simple as being destroyed. What? It's you. Lu Qingzhou, who was quietly listening to the conversation between Lu Changtian and Lu Qingbai, was stunned. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lu Qingzhou pretended to be crazy and rushed toward Lu Changtian. You killed my Tianxiang? At this moment, Lu Qingzhou didn't care whether he was a match for Lu Changtian or not. He just wanted to kill the person in front of him to avenge his son. The hatred of killing his son was irreconcilable. Even if he had to risk his life, he wouldn't hesitate. Humph, an ant-like thing dares to bark in front of me. You don't know what's good for you. Facing Lu Qingzhou's rush, Lu Changtian didn't get angry. Instead, he laughed. The power that he had accumulated at random seemed to have found an outlet. He raised his hand and slapped at Lu Qingzhou. Star finger. The star finger was instantly used. His middle finger and index finger instantly turned white and poked at Lu Qingzhou. Oh, not bad. You've cultivated the star finger to this level. Although it hasn't reached the standard, it's not bad. You barely passed. In the dark, Lin Rei was slightly gratified as he watched Lu Changtian use the battle technique. Of course, it was just gratification. After all, he could reach this level in 2 or 3 days at most. Of course, it could be even shorter. Puchi. The sound of flesh being pierced was heard. Lu Qingzhou's body was fixed in the air, and Lu Changtian appeared in front of Lu Qingzhou. One of his hands was already poking at Lu Qingzhou's heart. Scarlet blood slid down Lu Qingzhou's arm. The scene was slightly terrifying. Puff, he spat out a mouthful of blood and looked down at his chest in disbelief. How is this possible? He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe that he, a martial emperor, was killed by Lu Changtian without even taking a single blow. He couldn't believe that his fate had completely ended today. He couldn't believe that he would die. Wasn't his daughter the emperor's woman? Why didn't the emperor help? Questions appeared in Lu Qingzhou's mind, but unfortunately, he would never know the answer to these questions. Bang! Ignoring whether Lu Qingzhou was still alive, Lu Changtian casually threw him aside. His eyes fell on Lu Qingbai. His expression was full of passion. Obviously, he wanted to fight with Lu Qingbai. It's your turn. Yes, it's my turn. A wry smile appeared. He knew himself and knew that he was no match for the person in front of him. However, as a warrior, there was no reason to retreat. Knowing that it was impossible to do it, it was a warrior's nature. Come, show me the strength of a complete martial ancestor realm cultivator who is only a step away from becoming a martial ancestor realm cultivator. A long sword appeared. This time, Lu Changtian didn't use his bare hands, he used his weapon. He wasn't an arrogant person. Lu Changtian was very much looking forward to him, who was only a step away from martial grandmaster great perfection and martial venerable. Alright, since that's the case, then let's fight to our heart's content. Chapter 1105. He mobilized his Yuanli to stabilize his trembling hand. Naturally, the pain could not be removed. Looking up at Lu Changtian, Lu Changtian's face was solemn. It could be said that this was the only opponent he had encountered in a long time who could make him retreat. Of course, Lin Rei did not count. Although Lu Changtian only used 60% of his strength in the previous blow, it was impossible for an ordinary martial arts grandmaster of the complete realm to withstand such power. However, an accident had happened. Lu Qingbai had not only resisted but also repelled him. You are very strong, especially in terms of cultivation. I can't beat you. Looking at Lu Changtian's solemn face, Lu Qingbai said in a low voice. Lu Qingbai knew very well that although he had repelled Lu Changtian just now, it did not mean that he could defeat him. He knew himself well. Although you are very strong, you have a shortcoming. Your proficiency in combat techniques is not very strong. It seems that you have just started cultivating. However, even so, if you release all your cultivation, I am afraid that I am not your opponent. I am not sure how many moves I can take from you. Lu Changtian was speechless. He understood Lu Qingbai's words. However, it was embarrassing enough to be repelled like this. Now, he had to repeat it, which made him a little unacceptable. Stabilizing his trembling hand, he clenched the 3-foot-long cold light in his palm and looked at Lu Qingbai with a solemn gaze. Without saying anything, his figure shot out. Using the butterfly steps, his figure instantly turned into a series of afterimages and appeared in Lu Qingbai's line of sight. The scene was very shocking. Although it was just an afterimage, his movements were graceful and vivid. He was like a butterfly that kept moving forward in the air. His speed was so fast that Lu Qingbai felt ashamed of his inferiority. Come on. Lu Qingbai was not a little guy who had not seen the world. He would be dumbfounded when he saw such a handsome and high-class thing. Lu Qingbai understood his situation. If he stopped for a moment in such a battle, his life would not be his own. Seeing Lu Changtian rushing towards him, although he couldn't see Lu Changtian's figure with his eyes, Lu Qingbai wasn't the kind of person who would sit still and wait for death. Holding the sky-piercer halberd, he took a step forward. Instantly, the ground he stepped on cracked like a spider web. The silhouette dashed out, brandishing the ancient halberd in his hand. Using a battle technique, spear shadows appeared as the spear intent soared up into the sky, exuding a majestic aura, as though it wanted to pierce through the heavens and earth, as though the heavens and earth were a cage for the ancient halberd. Interesting. This old fellow actually managed to cultivate spear intent. Not bad. I didn't expect to find something like this in such a barren place. In the distance, Lu Changtian, who had been watching the battle, looked at Lu Qingbai's tactics. His eyes suddenly lit up and he muttered to himself. His eyes never left Lu Changtian and Lu Qingbai. The more he watched, the more interesting it became. Bang! The sound of weapons colliding resounded through the sky. Lu Changtian's long sword directly avoided Lu Qingbai's ancient halberd with the advantage of speed and pierced into his shoulder. However, although this attack was successful, there was one thing that made Lu Changtian helpless. The sword just now should have been able to directly kill Lu Qingbai, but because the long sword didn't completely avoid Lu Qingbai's ancient halberd, it brushed past the ancient halberd and finally pierced into his shoulder. The long sword's power had been reduced by 50%, so it appeared in his heart. Pucci, the long sword was pulled out. Blood, like a small fountain, rushed up the stairs from his shoulder and sprayed on Lu Changtian's clothes. Finish this quickly. After Lu Changtian's move succeeded, a voice sounded in his mind. The voice was full of overbearing and irresistible aura. When Lu Changtian heard this voice, his body suddenly stopped and his face showed an excited expression. Others didn't know, but he knew very well that this voice was Lin Rei's voice. Then, after understanding, his figure flashed quickly. His movements were faster than before and more frantic to kill Lu Qingbai. The long sword was accompanied by sword qi, constantly bombarding Lu Qingbai. The speed of the sword was faster than the previous one, and the sword was heavier than the previous one. Lu Qingbai didn't pay much attention to the words. When this kind of attack appeared, Lu Qingbai understood that he was completely miserable this time. However, what he couldn't understand was why the current Lu Changtian was completely different from before. They were not on the same channel at all. With the increase of Lu Changtian's speed, some wounds began to appear on Lu Qingbai's body. Blood flowed out of the wounds and his clothes were torn into pieces by the sword qi. He didn't look like a human being. In just a few minutes, Lu Qingbai and Lu Changtian stopped fighting. Lu Changtian fiercely kicked his legs and quickly withdrew from the battle range. Lu Qingbai stood quietly at the moment, looking at Lu Changtian's retreat with lifeless eyes. Lu Qingbai's whole body was filled with despair. I told you to finish this quickly, not to tickle the enemy. Really, I don't know how you practiced in the Divine Valley before. Just as Lu Qingbai looked at Lu Changtian who retreated, a voice full of disgust came from the south. Huh? The voice came too suddenly. Lu Qingbai scanned the surroundings with his dead eyes. He wanted to find the place where the speaker was, but unfortunately, he couldn't find the speaker in the end. Lu Changtian respectfully saluted behind him and said, "Yes, Master, you are right." Lu Changtian didn't dare to refute. He was afraid that if he refuted, something that Sammy didn't expect would happen. That would be terrible. Oh. Since that's the case, after we return, extend the Divine Valley by 1 kilometer. Lu Changtian didn't answer, but his expression showed his thoughts. At this moment, Lu Changtian's face was pale and he couldn't help but tremble. It was unknown whether it was excitement or fear. Seeing that Lu Changtian didn't speak, Lin Rei got up and walked out of the place where he was hiding, exposing his figure to everyone. Huh? You? As soon as Lin Rei's figure appeared, Lu Qingbai was stunned. This is the person who spoke just now. But why is he so young? This thought occupied all Lu Qingbai's thoughts at this moment. Indeed, Lin Rei's appearance at this moment was too young, so it was normal that he couldn't figure it out. As for Lu Qingbai's thoughts, Lin Rei didn't care. Instead, he looked at Lu Changtian with a helpless expression and said, "You bastard, it takes you so long to deal with someone who is at a lower realm than you. What about someone who is at a higher realm?" Lin Rei didn't care about Lu Changtian's face at all. Moreover, Lin Rei didn't realize that he said the wrong thing. Back then, I was very powerful. I fought against a mutated beast alone. That beast was much stronger than me, but in the end, I still won. Lu Changtian didn't say anything. He didn't believe it. After all, he hadn't seen it. His one-sided words weren't enough. You don't believe it? At this moment, Lu Changtian's face was filled with the words, "I don't believe it." For Lin Rei, who valued self-esteem, it was very important. Well, you bastard. Since that's the case, I'll show you what it means to be strong. After this, if you still embarrass me like this, I'll cripple you directly, so that you don't go out and embarrass me. Formation of Nightmare, appear. A middle-level formation was instantly displayed by Lin Rei. For this kind of formation, the effect of using formation flags was very good. However, the current conditions were too simple, so, however, at this current price, although the effect wasn't very good, it was enough. Stretching out the formation of Nightmare, the fog flashed. Then, a scene that shocked Lu Changtian appeared. The scenery at the original place disappeared and was replaced by a very big house. At this moment, the place was in a mess. There were many people, but most of them were desperately trying to escape from this place. In the middle of the house, a black dog stood there, staring at a man angrily. You're different from them. I don't understand why you're staying in the divine world with your strength. Is there any meaning to this? In the end, Devourer's gaze fell on Lin Rei. With a glance, Devourer knew Lin Rei's cultivation. Especially before this, Devourer and Lin Rei had been paying attention to each other since the beginning. Therefore, in Devourer's opinion, the person who should be dealt with the least should be Lin Rei, the cultivator at the initial stage of the Sage Realm. This was because Devourer felt a trace of dangerous aura from Lin Rei's body. He hadn't felt this aura for a long time. Devourer's words puzzled everyone. As he spoke, Devourer looked over. When he saw Lin Rei, everyone fell silent. They had never seen the person mentioned by Devourer before. They also knew that this person was very unfamiliar. He didn't look like someone from Yen City. He must be an outsider. Feeling the hesitant gaze of the crowd, Lin Rei ignored them. His gaze was fixed on Devourer. Lin Rei's mouth curved into a smile. However, this smile was so eerie and terrifying in the eyes of the crowd. It made their hair stand on end. Devourer, the most mysterious race in the Hongmeng realm. He possesses the Devourer bloodline. He is indeed very strong. In a single sentence, Linli had revealed the origin of the Devourer beast. Everyone was completely confused by this. Only the middle-aged man who had bid 90 million, upon hearing Linli reveal the Devourer beast's identity, had his face suddenly change and turn gloomy. I didn't expect that I'm not the only one here who knows the Devourer's identity. This person knows it so clearly as well. Who is he? Why does he know the Devourer's identity? He doesn't look like he's from the sacred realm. Why does he know the Devourer's identity? Looking at Lin Rei, the middle-aged man's mind was filled with questions. He felt that Lin Rei was very mysterious. On the other hand, Lin Rei didn't know the answer to the middle-aged man's questions. At this moment, he didn't want to know either. Facing such a powerful opponent, Lin Rei couldn't relax. He was afraid that he would die. Moreover, the system didn't give him much time. He had already wasted some time. If he didn't hurry up, the only outcome left for him would be death. The Devourer wasn't surprised that Lin Rei knew his identity. Moreover, he had never hidden his identity. Looking at Lin Rei, his eyes flashed. You are very smart. I don't know where you saw this sovereign's information, but if you saw this sovereign's information, you should know that this sovereign is very strong. So strong that you can't resist. A proud expression appeared on the Devourer's face. Regarding the Devourer, Lin Rei couldn't help but think of the little dragon. Yes, you are indeed very strong. The Devourer didn't dare to deny this point. The Devourer was indeed very strong. Even if he didn't admit it, he wouldn't have made Lin Rei so afraid. On the other hand, as Master Dan, Lin Rei also knew that although the Devourer was very strong, there were some injuries on his body. Although they weren't fatal, they affected his strength. Therefore, for the current Devourer, as long as he raised his spiritual power to the maximum, he would be fine as long as he acted carefully. The injuries on your body are very serious. If you don't treat them quickly, then who knows how much strength you have left in the end? Moreover, if the old geezers in the Holy World and the Hongmeng realm find out about your injuries, I'm afraid they will break through the barrier to find you and exchange blood with you. You. Listening to Lin Rei's clear and logical explanation, the Devourer's expression changed again and again. He had never mentioned his injuries in front of outsiders, but this person in front of him, a thought came to his mind. He looked at Lin Rei and said, You are an alchemist? Ha, alchemist. TSK, that's a good name, but I still like people calling me Master Dan. You broke through from the Dan realm to the Saint realm? The Devourer was a little in disbelief. Although he didn't know much about alchemy, he still knew the division of alchemists. Although Master Dan wasn't the highest in the alchemist realm, it was still an extremely high existence. Even in the Holy World, there weren't many Master Dan, but in the God realm, he actually found one. How could he not be shocked? Lin Rei felt very good about the devourer's shock. After all, this could be considered a compliment. Looking at the devourer's shocked expression, Lin Rei didn't deny it. He nodded and said, "Yes, the Emperor has indeed broken through to Master Dan. Otherwise, he wouldn't know that a dignified devourer would have such pain in his eyes." Looking at the scene in front of him, Lu Changtian's heart was filled with nothing but shock. Really, he was shocked. Not only the existence of strength, but also the decoration of the room. It was not something that the heavenly fate realm could compare to, especially things like cultivation. And just when Lu Changtian was engrossed in watching, the original scene suddenly collapsed and disappeared. Lu Changtian's thoughts instantly withdrew from the scene. Returning to reality, he looked at Lu Changtian and said, "Master, why is it gone?" This. Lin Rei wanted to say that the formation had collapsed, but his expression didn't allow him to. "What are you looking at? Hurry up and solve the matter in front of you so that you can follow me back to the Divine Valley. This time, if you don't cultivate to the martial god realm, don't even think about entering the world." Martial god. Lu Changtian's face fell. His heart was filled with bitterness. How could the martial god realm be achieved so easily? "Okay, hurry up and solve it. Tell me what happened in a bit." Saying that, Lin Rei retreated to the side. He didn't care about the Lu family at all. Moreover, the Lu family could be considered extinct now. Chapter 1106. After receiving the order, Lu Changtian didn't completely release his cultivation like before. He instantly used the Silent Thunder Spear art, but because he didn't have a weapon that matched the Silent Thunder Spear art, the power was a little weaker. His figure flashed quickly and he used the butterfly steps. He held the long sword in his hand, using the sword as the spearhead and his arm as the spear body. The Silent Thunder Spear art was instantly used. The spear was like a dragon, quickly flashing and stabbing towards Lu Qingbai. Alas! My life is over. Lu Qingbai didn't have the heart to resist Lu Changtian's attack. He knew that the Lu clan would die today. Although he had thought of dying together with Lu Changtian, that was before he saw Lin Rei. The appearance of Lin Rei made Lu Qingbai completely dispel this idea. Although he hadn't seen Lin Rei fight, Lu Changtian, a revered martial artist, had to call him master. His cultivation was imaginable. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that Lu Qingbai even thought that Lin Rei had the cultivation of a martial god, but then this idea disappeared. After all, there was bound to be a phenomenon when one broke through the martial god realm. He basically knew all the martial gods in the Destiny realm, but he had never heard of Lin Rei, so he could only be a martial saint. Looking at Lu Changtian rushing over, Lu Qingbai smiled bitterly. He didn't use the sky piercer in his hand, but stuck it in the ground. His eyes swept around and looked at the familiar courtyard. Then he closed his eyes and waited for the arrival of death. Life and death were determined by fate. When a clan rose, it would naturally fall or even be exterminated. This was an ancient law that had never changed. The survival of the fittest and the elimination of the fittest. He understood the law of natural selection the moment he became a martial artist, so he had no complaints. As for the Lu clan, Lu Qingbai only felt a little pity. He didn't expect the Lu clan to end up like this. Thinking of the reason for the Lu clan's extermination, Lu Qingbai felt ashamed. If he died and saw his ancestors, he wouldn't know how to explain it. Alas, forget it. Why think so much? Since it's already like this, why bother? Puchi, the sound of flesh being pierced entered Lu Changtian's ears. Lu Changtian closed his eyes tightly and his face instantly turned pale. He felt as if something had pierced into his heart. He felt a sharp pain. He didn't even need to think to know. Without opening his eyes, he quietly waited for death. At this moment, he recalled everything that had happened in his life. Thinking of the people he had killed under the blanket, he felt a little sorry, but he did not regret it. After all, as a warrior, he was not wrong. The only thing that was wrong was the world. Holding a sword in one hand, he looked at Lu Qingbai's action and his heart trembled slightly. He felt inexplicably sad. Will there be such a day in the future when I will be beheaded like this? This thought flashed through his mind before he returned to normal. He put away his sword and flashed to Lin Rei's side. Master, the Lu family has been destroyed. Lin Rei, looking at Lu Changtian, Lin Rei only wanted to give him a critical hit. He felt even more helpless. Wasn't it obvious? The head of the Lu family was killed, and the ancestor was also killed. This was not a massacre. Moreover, he had eyes. Of course, Lin Rei did not speak of this thought. He glanced at Lu Changtian and then turned to Lin Rei. He still had a good impression of Lu Qingbai. You should understand that even if it's not you now, it won't be long. Moreover, at your age, it's basically impossible to break through to martial venerable. You've lived for so long, it's time to be free. Maybe you'll be reincarnated to a good place in your next life. Maybe in that world, you'll meet something that I'm not in here, so, rest in peace. Lu Changtian, hearing Lin Rei's words, Lu Changtian rolled his eyes and despised him in his heart. You've destroyed their family and now you want them to rest in peace. Aren't you trying to provoke them? Lin Rei did not know what Lu Changtian was thinking. However, if Lin Rei knew what he was thinking, how could Lu Changtian have a good life in the future? What a joke, how could it be? After saying that, Lin Rei did not waste any more time. He turned around and walked out with Lu Changtian and Hong Si. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The moment Lin Rei stepped out of the backyard of the Lu family, he waved his hand and a fireball technique appeared. Fireballs the size of basketballs appeared in the air from Lin Rei's hand and finally landed on the house and the corpses in the backyard of the Lu family. Boom, raging flames appeared in an instant, and everything that was touched by the fireball would be burned to ashes in an instant. How is this possible? Hong Si exclaimed. For Hong Si, this scene was too shocking, but for Lu Changtian, he was already used to it. After all, it wasn't like he hadn't seen it before. Of course, for the first time, Lu Changtian was completely different from Hong Si, there was no difference at all. Oh, isn't it unbelievable? Do you think this is impossible? Oh, no, should I say it's impossible in this world? Looking at Hong Si's shock, Lu Changtian said to him with an amused smile. Looking at Lu Changtian's expression, Hong Si was stunned and then stammered. In the end, even Lu Changtian did not know what he was talking about. Well, there will be more of this in the future, so don't be too surprised. It'll be embarrassing. Hearing Lu Changtian's words, Hong Si turned around and sneered. He wanted to say, you were not as good as Hong Si before. Of course, he wanted to say it, but he did not. Otherwise, he would be very embarrassed. After all, Lu Changtian was now his disciple. The three of them stepped out of the gate of the Lu family and ignored them. As for the Lu family, Lin Rei did not need to deal with them at all. The fireball technique just now was enough to turn the Lu family into ashes. Now, in front of the gate of the Lu family, the people around did not disperse. In fact, there were even more people gathered than before. Lin Rei did not want to say anything about it. He walked away, ignoring the Lu family that was burning with raging flames. When they passed by the crowd, they could not help but push aside to make a path for Lin Rei and the others. Perhaps it was because of fear, or perhaps it was because of the blood on Lu Changtian and Hong Si that frightened them. As for why they were afraid, only they knew in their hearts. Lin Rei and the others left, leaving the onlookers to watch the Lu family's fire grow bigger and bigger. Originally, there were people who wanted to go in and clean up the place. After all, the Lu family was one of the big families in the empire. Especially after the Lu family had the emperor in the past 2 years, the Lu family's status had vaguely become the biggest family in the capital. There must be a lot of good things in the house. However, with the raging fire in front of them, even if they wanted to, they did not have the courage. Of course, there were also people who were not afraid of death. Some people went in, but as soon as they entered the door, they were forced to retreat by the heat waves caused by the raging fire. Just like that, the crowd could only watch the Lu family being surrounded and turned into ashes. Just like that, the Lu family was exterminated in a day. This news spread like the wind to the entire capital. Chapter 1107. Lin Rei didn't care about the Lu family's matters. After all, the Lu family had been exterminated. As for the Lu family's things, he didn't care at all. Lin Rei brought Lu Changtian to the restaurant, but because of the bloodstains on Lu Changtian and Lu Changtian's bodies, the moment they entered the restaurant, Lin Rei sent them to wash up and come back. As for Lin Rei, after arriving at the restaurant, he found a place by the window and sat down. He ordered some food and wine and quietly waited for Lu Changtian's arrival. Time passed little by little. In less than 10 minutes, Lu Changtian returned. The difference was that Lu Changtian now looked completely new. There was no longer any trace of blood on his body. However, since he had killed someone before, even if his clothes and blood were wiped clean, there was still a faint smell of blood. "Take a seat," Lin Rei said as he looked at Lu Changtian. He raised his wine cup and downed it in one gulp. "Tell me, why did you come to the Guangyun Empire, and where is my mother?" Lu Changtian got straight to the point and asked a few questions in a row, which made him a little unnatural. What he was most afraid of now was being asked about Huiyun's injury. As expected, he couldn't avoid it in the end. He sat down and raised his head to look at Lin Rei with an expression that said he knew he was in the wrong. Then, he didn't dare to be negligent and said, "Teacher, let's start from when you asked me to go to the Lin family." The Lin family. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lin Rei didn't frown. He didn't expect this to be related to the Lin family. Nodding, he said, "Sure, I want to hear what you have to say. If your final reason doesn't satisfy me, you should know what the consequences will be." Lu Changtian, after wiping away the cold sweat on his forehead, he began to explain the entire situation, from the Lin family to when he met Lu Tianxiang in the empire. "When I came to the empire, I was separated from Mistress because of the Lin family's matter. I originally wanted to investigate, but I didn't expect that Mistress would encounter Lu Tianxiang. In the end, because I wasn't there, Lu Tianxiang succeeded. However, I arrived and killed him." Lu Changtian paused and glanced at Lin Rei from the corner of his eyes. Seeing that there was not the slightest emotion on Lin Rei's face, Lu Changtian wiped his cold sweat and continued, "Because we were in the Imperium at that time, and because the incident might have been too serious, we could only settle down the Mistress and the others first before returning to the Imperium to settle accounts with the Lu family. That's all. You'll know what happened next. The Lu family was destroyed." Lu Changtian let out a long sigh of relief. After Lu Changtian finished speaking, Lin Rei didn't speak for a long time, but his expression became serious. "I didn't expect that something like this would happen to the Lin family. Since the Lin family has reappeared in front of everyone, and the Guangyun Empire has found out, the other empires naturally won't make a move without me. Since that's the case, I'll call out the matter of my father, eldest uncle, and third uncle." Now that he had found the souls of his eldest uncle and third uncle, but according to Tendo, his father's soul wasn't dead. This meant that someone else had intervened and kidnapped him. In that case, everything that had happened before made sense. Thinking of this, a murderous intent flashed through his eyes. The Guanyin Empire had wanted to let the imperial family go, but now it was impossible. Since they dared to interfere with the Lin family, they must die. Although he didn't have much affection for the Lin family, it was still his family in this life. It was his father's family, so he was determined to take care of this matter. Thinking of this, he raised his head and looked at Lu Changtian. "You're right about this." After hearing this, Lu Changtian, who was still a little nervous, finally relaxed. He thought that he would be punished, but now, however, before Lu Changtian could react, Lin Rei's words came again. Lu Changtian's face fell. "However, you can avoid the death penalty, but you can't escape punishment. Since you made a mistake, you must be punished." "Master, I..." He wanted to refute, but Lin Rei's voice came again. "Before, when you returned to the Divine Valley, I told you to increase the distance by 1,000 meters. Now, increase it a little. 2,000 meters. 1 year. If you can't break through in 1 year, then, bear the consequences." Lu Changtian, at this moment, Lu Changtian didn't want to speak. He didn't even have the heart to refute. Right now, he just wanted to find a corner, squat down, and quietly grieve for a while. He understood Lu Changtian's heart, but there was nothing he could do. It was his fault for not protecting his mother well. This was his punishment. In the outside world, the news of the Lu family's annihilation was immediately known by all the major clans, especially the royal family. However, Li Huangdao did not tell Lu Linglong about it. He was afraid that Lu Linglong would not be able to accept it. Of course, he was even more worried that Lu Linglong would provoke Linli and bring trouble to the empire. Long family, Long Yaoyang's room. After receiving the report of the Lu family's destruction, Long Yaoyang was so excited that he almost fainted. For 2 to 3 years, they had been suppressed by the Lu family. In these 2 to 3 years, the Long family had been humiliated to the extreme. Long Yaoyang's personality was especially strong. Now that the Lu clan had been annihilated, how could he not be excited? However, when he thought of Linli's strength, he was very worried. Now that the Lu clan had been annihilated, what if his own clan members accidentally offended Linli? Would the Long clan, thinking about it, Long Yaoyang couldn't help but gasp. He didn't dare to think about the consequences anymore. "Someone, come." He raised his head and shouted. "Jia." The door was pushed open and a man came in. He kneeled on the ground and bowed respectfully. "Master. Go, inform everyone in the Long family that if they see that senior, they are not allowed to leave. Also, during this time in the capital, don't cause any trouble. Otherwise, don't blame me for not showing mercy. Especially those good-for-nothings. Tell them to behave. Otherwise, don't blame me for putting righteousness before family." Hearing this, the man's expression changed. He knew very well what Long Yaoyang meant. He nodded and said, "Yes, I will go inform the elders." "Good, go. If they have any objections, tell them to come find me." Then, the man got up and left Long Yaoyang's room to inform the elders of the Long family. This situation didn't only apply to the Long family. It was the same for the other families in the capital. Basically, they were all telling the troublemakers to behave. Lin Rei didn't know what the other families were doing. At the moment, Lin Rei was eating and drinking in a restaurant. He was very relaxed. Now that he knew what happened, his mood was much better. The most troublesome thing was solved. As for the rest, he just had to do it. This was very easy for Lin Rei. Chapter 1108. At the entrance of the Grey Cloud mountain range, Lu Changtian led Lin Rei and the others back to the mountain where Huiyun was. Is this the place? They were now at the entrance of the mountain range. Looking up at the mountain range in front of him, Lin Rei's face showed a touch of sadness. He had such an expression before, so no one else noticed it. Yes, because I had to take revenge before, I could only arrange for you to stay here. Besides, I have beasts guarding the periphery, so it's safe, Lu Changtian replied. Okay. Lin Rei nodded and then didn't say anything else. He motioned for Lu Changtian to go first, and his group followed behind him at a very fast speed. After all, everyone in this group was not weak in cultivation. Gradually, Lu Changtian's speed increased. Perhaps he sensed Lin Rei's eagerness, so he sped up even more, which made Hong Si, who was following beside him, feel like crying. Seeing Lin Li and the others increasing their speed, Hong Si felt helpless. He wanted to increase his speed to catch up with them, but he was powerless to do so. He had no choice. His cultivation was at its current level, and he could not increase it even if he wanted to. What made Hong Si even more speechless was that the blood spirit heaven speed was much faster than his, and it was dragging two children with it. In the restaurant, Lin Rei introduced the blood spirit heaven to Hong Si, although Hong Si couldn't accept it at first. After all, it was incredible that beasts could listen to human orders. However, when he thought of Lin Rei's strength and Lu Changtian's attitude, his attitude changed a little. In the end, he slowly accepted the existence of the blood spirit heaven. However, now that he saw the blood spirit heaven speed, he began to feel unhappy again because it was faster than him, much faster. He could feel that this was not the full speed of the blood spirit heaven. In front, Lin Rei sensed that Hong Si's speed was a little slow, so he finally slowed down a little. However, even so, Hong Si was still exhausted. Lu Changtian led the way, and no one spoke along the way. Finally, not long after, Lu Changtian and the others finally arrived at their destination. Along the way, in order to avoid trouble, Lin Rei released his cultivation base and released his aura so that the demonic beasts did not dare to come close. That was why everything went so smoothly. Otherwise, at the bottom of one of the valleys in the Green Cloud mountain range, Longming had his disciples form teams of 3 and set up sentries within a radius of 1,000 meters. As long as there was any movement, it would be transmitted back to Longming at the fastest speed. This was the first sentry post within a kilometer. It was a normal patrol, scanning the surroundings. Just as the sentry post was investigating the situation, a group of people appeared. Looking at the group of people in the distance, the man reminded the two people beside him, "Don't sleep. Someone is coming. Quickly warn them to stay away. If you fail to do your job, you should know the consequences." As soon as he said that, the two people who were sleeping with their eyes closed jumped up immediately. They grabbed the wooden sticks that looked like spears and poked at the people in the distance without saying anything. Of course, the 3 of them did not bombard the group of people in the distance. Instead, they poked at the group in front of them. Whoosh, 3 air-piercing sounds came from afar. Lin Rei, who wanted to rush to the destination in one go, heard the air-piercing sounds and looked up. He saw 3 black shadows rushing over in an instant and finally stabbing into the ground 5 meters in front of him. Bang! There was a muffled sound, followed by a warning from afar. Stop. This is private property. The first time is a warning, but the second time is not necessarily the same. Huh? The sudden sound made Lin Rei and the others pause. They looked at Lu Changtian in confusion and wanted to ask about the situation. However, Lu Changtian was also at a loss when he saw Lin Rei and the others looking at him. He did not remember such a thing happening when he left. Looking at Lin Rei's murderous gaze, Lu Changtian trembled and cold sweat appeared on his forehead. He then said, "Master, I I don't know. Wait a moment, I'll ask. After saying that, without waiting for Lin Rei to speak, Lu Changtian stepped forward and looked at the three people in front of him. He shouted, I am Lu Changtian. Call Long Ming out for me. Huh? Lu Changtian? At the sentry post, the three people frowned when they heard this. They looked up as if they wanted to see the person's identity clearly. Fortunately, the three of them had good eyesight. After staring at Lu Changtian for a long time, they finally confirmed that the person in front of them was Lu Changtian, that expert. Senior Lu, young master arranged for us to stand guard in case of emergencies. If we offended you, please forgive us. After the man finished speaking, the three of them quickly went to Lu Changtian and the others and bowed respectfully as an apology. Looking at the three of them, Lu Changtian's complexion improved a lot. He understood why Long Ming did this, so he did not blame him. You did well. He praised the three of them and then continued, let's go. Let us in. Lu Changtian did not want to encounter such a situation later. He did not know how many sentry posts Lu Changtian had set up. Well, Senior Lu, please. The three of them made an inviting gesture, then stepped forward and began to lead the way for Lin Rei and the others. As Lu Changtian had expected, they would encounter a sentry post every once in a while. Lu Changtian admired Long Ming even more for being able to think of such a method. Lin Rei was also quite interested in this. He wanted to broaden his knowledge of Long Ming. After all, Long Ming did this to protect his mother. Although he had offended the Lin family before, this kind of thing could be considered as atonement. In this way, under the guidance of the three people, Lu Changtian and the others had a smooth journey. They were not warned like the first time. Time passed quickly. Not long after, Lu Changtian was finally led to the destination at the bottom of the valley. After stopping, the three people, including Lu Changtian and the others, bowed and saluted. Senior Lu, since you have arrived, we will go back first. Looking at the three people, Lu Changtian nodded. Well, you can go back now. After the three people left, Lu Changtian turned to look at Lin Rei and said, Master, that cave residence is where Grand Mistress lives. This? Looking at the direction where Lu Changtian was pointing, a dark flash appeared in front of Lin Rei's eyes. This. Looking at Lin Rei's puzzled expression, Lu Changtian paused and then continued, although it's a little risky, safety is the most important thing. Besides, Grand Mistress was injured before. She should have recovered by now. Well, I understand. Nodding, he took a step forward and disappeared. When everyone saw Lin Rei again, they thought he was at the entrance of the cave where Huiyun was. TSK, this speed is really fast. Looking at Lin Rei's figure, Hong Si was very envious. There was nothing but envy. Chapter 1109. Ignoring the gazes of the crowd, Lin Rei stepped into the cave. This time, he did not use his cultivation, but his heart was filled with excitement. He had been away for a few years. Although this was only his mother in this life, she gave birth to him, raised him, loved him, and protected him. This alone was enough for Lin Rei to use all his strength to protect this love. The cave was not very big. It was dark, and there was a reflux. Cultivating in such a place was not a big deal for cultivators. After all, most of the cultivators cultivated in caves and the like. However, this was not a very good place for warriors. Moreover, it was a woman who cultivated in such a gloomy place. This was even worse. It was detrimental to cultivation. At this moment, in the center of the cave, Huiyun was sitting cross-legged. She was operating her cultivation method to heal her injuries. Only Huiyun knew nothing about the outside world. Lin Rui came to Huiyun's side and released his divine sense to explore her. Looking at the circulation route of the cultivation method in Huiyun's body, Lin Rui frowned and then relaxed. Mother can even close her 5 senses to cultivate in such a place. Poor Long Ming and the others. Closing one's 5 senses to cultivate was a taboo, especially in such an environment. Generally, to be able to close one's 5 senses to cultivate, it was either in a very closed place where outsiders could not enter, or there were some very trusted people around them. Otherwise, it would not be like this. Seeing that Huiyun's cultivation method had reached a critical moment, Lin Rui did not disturb her. Instead, he went to the side and found a dry place to sit down. He closed his eyes and began to cultivate. In the outside world, Lu Changtian saw Lin Rui leave. Lu Changtian waved his hand to let everyone disperse. As for where they went, it was up to them. As for Lu Changtian, he also came to another cave. This was the cave where Long Ming cultivated. Long Ming was not as bold as Huiyun. The moment Lu Changtian entered the cave, he sensed it. He opened his eyes and turned his head. When he saw the person in front of him, Long Ming's dignified face revealed a smile. "Senior, you're back." That's right, the person Long Ming saw was Lu Changtian. He stood up and walked to Lu Changtian's side and spoke respectfully. "I'm back." Looking at Long Ming, Lu Changtian said, "You've done well during my absence. It seems that I was right to leave you here." Hearing Lu Changtian's praise, Long Ming's face revealed a hint of pride. "Senior, you flatter me. This is what I should do. After all, this is also my responsibility." "Hee, you brat." Hearing Long Ming's words, Lu Changtian did not explain. After all, he had already admitted that he was a member of the Lin family. In that case, responsibility was also correct. "Oh, right." Xiao Qin seemed to have thought of something. He looked at Long Ming and revealed a smile. Then, he continued, "This time, my master also came back with me. Furthermore, there is good news." Your master?" Long Ming was shocked. Lu Changtian's master was a super strong person. Most importantly, their lives were still in his hands. Only when Lin Rui spoke would they be able to escape death. Seeing Long Ming's expression, Lu Changtian smiled. He understood what Long Ming was thinking. "Don't worry. Master has already said that he won't kill you and your subordinates. Don't worry this time." Really? Originally, Long Ming thought that his life was in danger, but now that this news came, Long Ming was a little in disbelief. However, in order to confirm it again, Long Ming asked again, "Senior, is what you said true? We really don't have to die?" Lu Changtian, he was speechless at Long Ming's reaction. However, in order to reassure Long Ming, Lu Changtian still responded. "Yes, what I said is true. Don't worry. Master said that he won't do anything to you. Besides, if nothing goes wrong, perhaps this time you will get unexpected benefits. Of course, this is only my guess. I don't know the specifics. We will only know when it is confirmed." At this moment, Lu Changtian's words could no longer enter Long Ming's ears. At this moment, Long Ming was confident that he didn't have to get up. As for the reward, he didn't care about it anymore. If a person was dead, it would be useless even if he was given a mountain of gold and silver. As long as he was alive, everything was king. As if thinking of something, Long Ming recovered from his excitement and looked at Lu Changtian. "Senior, since that person is here, why don't I go and thank him for not killing me? Do I need to take a shower and change my clothes?" Long Ming's actions almost made Lu Changtian unable to hold back his laughter, but he almost laughed out loud. "Alright, don't be so busy. Master is now in Master's cave. If you want to see Master, I'm afraid you'll have to wait until dinner. Ah. Is that so? Long Ming's face showed inexplicable disappointment, but he quickly recovered. Well, hurry up and get ready. When dinner comes, you will be able to see someone stronger than me. After that, Lu Changtian didn't give Long Ming a chance to speak. He went to the side and found a clean place to lie down. Just wake me up for dinner. After saying that, he closed his eyes and didn't speak anymore. He was too tired during this time and basically didn't have much rest. Now that Lin Rei was here, he no longer had any worries. The worry in his heart was finally put down. His body relaxed, sleepiness swept over, and he fell asleep unknowingly. Seeing that Lu Changtian had fallen asleep, Long Ming didn't disturb him. He tiptoed out of the cave house and went to prepare dinner. Time passed quickly, and evening came in the blink of an eye. In Huiyun's cave house, Huiyun finished a day of cultivation and opened her 5 senses. The first thing she sensed was that there was one more person in her cave house. Perceiving the presence of that person, Huiyun frowned, opened her eyes abruptly, and turned her head to look. Ray. Ray? The moment she turned her head and saw the person, Huiyun was stunned on the spot. Her expression was filled with disbelief, and she tentatively called out softly. After a long pause, Lin Rei didn't speak. Huiyun was stunned and spoke again. Ray, is that you? The voice sounded again, and under Huiyun's slow anticipation, Lin Rei's eyes slowly opened. His gaze swept over the place where Huiyun was. When he saw that Huiyun had woken up, Lin Rei got up and came in front of Huiyun. Without saying anything, he knelt on the ground. Mother, please accept your son's worship. Bang! A loud and clear sound rang out. Lin Rei's forehead and the ground had a firm kiss. Ray, it's really you. You're here. At this moment, if Huiyun felt that it was a dream, then it was really abnormal. Yes, Mother, it's me. Previously, I felt that you were in danger, so I rushed to the Guangyun Empire without stopping. Are you okay? I heard from Lu Changtian that you were injured. Although he had roughly checked Huiyun's injuries, he couldn't help but ask. Chapter 11:10. It's fine, I'm fine now. As he spoke, he stood up and patted his chest, telling her that he was fine so that she wouldn't worry. You. Seeing his mother like this, Lin Rei smiled bitterly. Fortunately, I left something on your body this time. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Do you know? Look at you, why did you come here instead of staying at home? It's so dangerous. Looking at Fire Cloud, although Linley appeared to be reprimanding her, his words were filled with love. His tone was very gentle, and it was impossible to tell that he was actually reprimanding her. Aya. Looking at the reproachful look on her son's face, Huiyun smiled and walked to Linley's side. She pinched his face and said, "All right, don't be angry. Isn't it because a mother wants to see her son?" Looking at Huiyun, Lin Rei wanted to say something, but as soon as he opened his mouth, he didn't say anything. It wasn't that he didn't want to say anything, but that he couldn't open his mouth, as if something was stuck in his throat. Previously, I followed Lu Changtian to the Divine Valley, but before I even entered, I saw the message you left at the entrance. Then, for the sake of the Lin family's safety, I came to the Guangyun Empire. At first, I didn't think that it would be dangerous. After all, with Lu Changtian's cultivation, I just didn't think that the empire would be so chaotic. As soon as I entered the city, I was targeted by people looking for trouble. Isn't that so? Luckily, I have a handsome and elegant son. Otherwise, it would have been done for. As she spoke, she no longer tried to make Lin Rei angry, and Hui Yun's words became more teasing. Sure enough, the effect was just as Hui Yun expected. The moment these words reached Lin Rei's ears, the originally expressionless Lin Rei revealed a slight smile, as if he was enjoying his mother's words. Hee, all right, let's not talk about it. Hurry up and tell me where you've been these past few years. Why did you go to the Divine Valley? Don't you know how terrifying that place is? You're the only descendant of the Lin family. What if something happens to you? Your father hasn't come back yet. If he comes back and finds out what you've done, I'm afraid he'll spank you too. Lin Rei, Hui Yun's words were unscrupulous. She didn't give any face to Lin Rei. The original situation was instantly reversed by Hui Yun. Originally, it was Lin Rei who was interrogating, but now the situation had completely reversed to Hui Yun. Listening to Hui Yun's words, especially the last part about spanking, Lin Rei's forehead was filled with black lines, and his expression was extremely awkward. One had to know that although Lin Rei's appearance was that of a teenager, his heart was filled with the soul of a 3,000 to 4,000-year-old. Now that he was being spoken to like this, where could he put his old face? Fortunately, there was no one around to see this. Otherwise, if someone saw a dignified saint being treated like this, he would definitely become famous in the God realm, or even in the holy world. Seeing that Lin Rei didn't say anything, Hui Yun reached out and pinched Lin Rei's ear, and said fiercely, "Hurry up and speak, or don't even think about letting this matter pass." At this moment, Lin Rei wanted to cry. When had he ever experienced such a day? Even when he wasn't a cultivator, he had never been treated like this. However, even though Lin Rei felt a little awkward, his heart was warm. Being pinched by Hui Yun didn't hurt, but Lin Rei still pretended that his clothes were in pain and begged for mercy. "Mom, I was wrong. I'll speak, okay? Humph, hurry up." Seeing that her son had compromised, Hui Yun reached out her hand and pinched Lin Rei's ear. She then sat to the side and looked at him, waiting for his response. When a tiger leaves the plains, it will be bullied by its mother. Seeing his mother like this, Lin Rei sighed inwardly, and then told her some of the things that had happened after he left home. As for danger, he really didn't see it. After all, with his status as a cultivator, if he was in danger, it would be embarrassing. He slowly walked to Hui Yun's side and sat down. Looking at the entrance of the cave, he slowly told her some of the things that had happened in the past few years. "When I left home, I planned to travel, and then I went." Just like this, Lin Rei slowly began to tell his story. He spoke for a few hours. During this time, Hui Yun asked several questions, but in the end, Lin Rei simply said that he needed to go. Hui Yun didn't feel that there was anything wrong with this. The sky outside gradually darkened. The so-called dark clouds pressing down on the city was nothing more than this. The sky darkened, and a touch of dark red decorated the beautiful night. Whoa! The roars of various demonic beasts came from the distance. The roars of various demonic beasts seemed to be saying that night had come, and it was time to hunt. In front of the cave, there was a bonfire burning with raging flames. Above the bonfire, there was a piece of barbecued meat. The only difference was that this piece of barbecued meat was a little bigger. It was estimated to weigh at least 500 kilograms. Long Ming sat in front of the bonfire and continuously rolled the meat to prevent it from burning. Other than Long Ming, there was no one else. "Oh my God, it's finally done." Looking at the rotten meat, Long Ming tore a piece of meat and put it in his mouth. After tasting it, his eyes lit up. Although the taste of the rotten meat couldn't be considered delicious, it was still a good thing in the wilderness. He got up and walked to Lu Changtian's cave and shouted in front of the door, "Senior, the meat is done. Come out and eat." In the cave, Lu Changtian's closed eyes slowly opened. Chapter 11:11. Master, Mistress. Lu Changtian, who was waiting at the entrance of the cave, bowed respectfully when he saw Lin Rei and Lu Changtian come out. Long Ming, who followed behind Lu Changtian, also saw Lin Rei. However, the moment he saw Lin Rei, his mind went blank and he was dumbfounded. Lin Rei was too young, and Lu Changtian called him master. Apart from Lin Rei, he knew Huiyun, so he could be sure that Lin Rei was the master that Lu Changtian mentioned and the son that Huiyun mentioned. What are you doing? Feeling Long Ming beside him, Lu Changtian quickly reached out and poked Long Ming. Oh, that. After being poked by Lu Changtian, Long Ming came back to his senses and quickly said to Lin Rei and Huiyun, "Greetings, senior, madam." Even so, Long Ming's heart was still in a state of confusion. He still couldn't believe it. He didn't want to believe that such a young child was the master of Lu Changtian, a revered martial artist. Alright, save these red tape if you can. Looking at the two, Lin Rei shook his head helplessly. Lin Rei looked at Long Ming. He could see Long Ming's expression and he could understand his thoughts. Lin Li felt helpless about this. After all, cultivators wouldn't age for free. Of course, this wasn't the case for all cultivators. When they entered the nascent soul stage, they would have a choice. Most people would choose to make themselves younger, but these people were different. After looking at Long Ming for a long time, Lin Rei said, "You are very good. In the future, follow my mother, I will not treat you unfairly." With that, he took out a bottle from his arms and casually threw it at Long Ming. "This is a bottle of healing pills. The effect is much better than what you ate before. As long as you don't lose an arm or a leg, even if you are left with a breath, it can be cured. This is really for me?" Long Ming, who understood the value of this bottle of medicinal pills, looked at the bottle in his hand in a daze. He felt like he was dreaming. He originally thought that this kind of pill was the kind that was especially precious and difficult to refine. However, he estimated that there were at least 10 of them in the bottle before him. Seeing Long Ming like this, Lu Changtian couldn't help but say, "Just take these. My master has many things in his heart. He can even eat them like candy." Bang! As soon as he said that, there was a muffled sound. Lu Changtian, who was originally beside Long Ming, was nowhere to be seen. This. In the distance, Lu Changtian fell to the ground. Long Ming regained his senses and scanned his surroundings. Seeing Lu Changtian's current appearance, cold sweat broke out on his forehead. In his heart, he began to re-evaluate Lin Rei's temper. He remembered that Lu Changtian didn't seem to have said anything just now. Of course, Lin Rei didn't know what Long Ming was thinking. He looked at Lu Changtian in the distance. Lin Rei said with a pained heart, "You prodigal thing. Do all my things come as fast as the wind?" The sudden change in tone made the surrounding people unable to accept it. Only Xue Lingtian and the Min siblings understood Lin Rei's character a little. After all, they had been together for a long time. If you don't manage the family, you don't know the cost of daily necessities. Do you think this kind of medicinal pill is easy to refine? You can eat as much as you want. You are really generous. The voice didn't stop. Let me tell you. If I hear this sentence again in the future, I will crush you to death. Otherwise, you can go refine pills for me yourself. Of course, the truth was not like what Lin Rei said. This kind of medicinal pill was indeed like what Lu Changtian said. He could eat as much as he wanted. But what was rare was that there weren't many spiritual herbs in this destiny world. The medicinal pills in Long Ming's hand were all his savings. Voila! When Lin Rei's words reached Lu Changtian's ears, Lu Changtian got up from the ground with a bitter expression. The gravel on his body slid to the ground. He looked particularly miserable. Master. He looked at Lin Rei with an aggrieved expression. He didn't expect Lin Rei to kick him in front of so many people. Even Hui Yun couldn't stand it anymore. She reached out and patted Lin Rei. She ordered, "Rei, little Tian is just saying. Why do you have to take it seriously? Besides, pills are meant to be eaten once they are refined. What's the point of leaving them there?" Lin Rei, looking at his mother, Lin Rei was even more speechless. He wanted to refute, but when he saw his mother's threatening gaze, he didn't dare to speak again. Okay, let's stop talking. Let's hurry up and eat." With Hui Yun's interference, everything returned to how it was before. Lin Rei didn't say anything else. He followed Hui Yun to the bonfire and sat down. He stretched out his hand and a wave of spirit energy rushed out. He used his spirit energy to cut off the most delicious part of the demonic beast. He used his spirit energy to form a knife and cut off the most delicious part of the demonic beast. Then, he used his spirit energy to form a hand and cut off the basin-sized demonic beast meat in front of Hui Yun. Lin Rei's ability really made everyone envious. Xiaofang's method was something that even martial god couldn't do. Of course, Xueling Tian was different from Hui Yun and the others. He snorted disdainfully at Lin Li's actions. It must be known that he had inherited the legacy of a primordial bloodworm. This sort of small trick had been learned when he was still a child. No, that wasn't right. He had learned it when he was just born. Just like this, everyone began to eat. Along the way, Hui Yun asked about the Min siblings. Lin Rei truthfully told Hui Yun everything, even though he had mentioned it in the cave before. As for Xueling Tian, Lin Rei said that he was a demonic beast pet. Xueling Tian was very angry because of this, but under Lin Rei's tyrannical abuse, that anger was forcibly suppressed in his heart. Just as everyone was eating happily, Lin Rei looked at Lu Changtian and suddenly asked, "Little Tian, what do you plan to do about the matter you told me before?" "Kill." Without the slightest emotion, he directly spat out a word. His killing intent soared to the sky. "Kill?" Seeing Lu Changtian's change, Lin Rei frowned slightly. His heart was heavy. Before, Lu Changtian was not such a murderous person. Just a moment ago, his killing intent soared to the sky. This kind of killing intent had completely exceeded his previous limits. Lin Rei, who was deeply persecuted by the killing intent, did not want Lu Changtian to participate in this matter. However, Lu Changtian's next words made Lin Rei dispel his thoughts. "Master, these people can only be completely obedient by killing the chicken to warn the monkey. Of course, the most important thing is to kill the chicken to warn the monkey. This is not a simple killing." "Oh." "Continue." "The royal family. As long as we destroy the royal family, or even kill a martial god, it will be a very shocking matter to this world. At that time, we will spread the news of the Lin family. At that time, we will be afraid that those rascals will have designs on the Lin family." Lu Changtian did not hide his words from the surrounding people. Hui Yun naturally heard it and nodded in agreement. "I agree with little Tian's words. After all, the Lin family is facing so many people. This is good. With the royal family of the Guang Yun Empire, no one will touch our Lin family in the future." Looking at his mother, looking at Lu Changtian, Lin Rei also agreed. However, if this was the case, he would have to take action. After all, he was present. While thinking, he suddenly thought of something and turned to look at the blood spirit sky. The corner of his mouth rose, and a smile appeared. "Damn, don't look at me. I'm your pet monster. I don't have any combat ability, so don't look at me." Chapter 11-12. Linley immediately knew what Blood Spirit Sky was thinking. Seeing that Blood Spirit Sky was refusing, the good look on his face instantly disappeared. His face was gloomy, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Lin Rei's aura suddenly changed. Blood Spirit Sky was stunned and took a step back, not daring to meet Lin Rei's gaze. "Are you sure you don't want to help?" Lin Rei asked. Even though Lin Rei had already controlled the temperature, the moment he spoke, the temperature plummeted. Even the bonfire was useless. Sensing the change in temperature, Xue Lingtian subconsciously opened his mouth to reject Zhang Xian's offer, but he found himself unable to utter a single word. It was as if a fishbone was stuck in his throat, and his heart was thumping furiously. "I'll give you one more chance to reorganize your words. I'm a very humanitarian person." Blood Spirit Sky, speechless. "Humanitarian? You're the most inhumane person there is." Of course, Blood Spirit Sky only thought about this in his heart. If he really put it out in the open, he wouldn't dare to say it out loud. Lin Rei didn't say anything, but his murderous gaze was fixed on Blood Spirit Sky. Blood Spirit Sky swore that he wouldn't see it a second time. "Fine, I'll help you." In the end, Blood Spirit Sky compromised, not because of Lin Rei, but because of Tsang Long. "That's all you want?" Looking at the Blood Spirit Sky, Linley let out a cold snort, then turned his head to look at Lu Changtian. His cold face had disappeared, replaced by a gentle look. As the saying went, a woman's face and the weather in June could change at will. But in the eyes of the Blood Spirit Sky, what woman's face and the weather in June? Linley's face was even more beautiful than a woman's. "Little Sky, we'll do as you say. Kill the chicken to warn the monkey. First, we'll target the imperial family of Guanyin Empire." Understanding the importance of this matter, Lu Changtian stood up and bowed. "Yes. Remember, don't leave a single imperial child alive." A murderous intent emerged. The moment the people sitting by the bonfire felt this murderous intent, their bodies felt as if they had fallen into a 10,000-year-old ice cave. Lei's training is growing more and more powerful. Enduring the discomfort in his body, Firecloud looked at Linley as he thought to himself. "Yes, I understand. And this is the truth that I have imparted to you. Don't stop. This will be very important for your future. As the saying goes, even if a wildfire doesn't burn it out, it will grow again when the spring breeze blows. Only by exterminating a clan and not leaving behind any future troubles will they not suffer in the future." After he finished speaking, he looked at Huiyun beside him. His originally cold gaze softened the moment he saw Huiyun. Lu Changtian listened attentively and agreed with Lin Rei's words. In this world of cannibalism and survival of the fittest, it was either you killed or they killed. If you didn't want to suffer in the future, then you had to kill your enemy. Only then could you be at ease. "Master, I will remember this." Looking at Lu Changtian's current state, Lin Rei nodded in satisfaction. "That's good. This time, there is a martial god-level cultivator among the royalty. You shouldn't be a match for him." After saying that, he grabbed Xue Lingtian and threw him in front of Lu Changtian. He continued, "Bring him along. He will deal with the martial god. As for Li Huangdao, if you can't even defeat him, then you will be embarrassing me. You should be more careful. If you embarrass me, the bonfire will be very serious." Lin Rei's threatening tone left Lu Changtian speechless. In the end, he could only brace himself and say, I understand. I will definitely not embarrass you, master." Although he said that, he didn't want it to happen. Thinking of Li Huangdao, Lu Changtian wanted to cry. "Master, you really dare to say that? The opponent is a martial saint. I am just a small martial saint. Are you sure I am a match for him?" Aren't you afraid that I won't be a match for him and will be killed? Lu Changtian had thought about this before. However, he also wanted to test his true strength. After all, he still didn't know where his true strength lay. Yes. Good. Then I will leave this matter to you. You must do it beautifully. Remember, you must let the entire Destiny realm know that I, Lin Rei, am a man. They can't touch me. If they do, they will die. In the Destiny realm, the various empires and sects didn't know that chaos was about to arrive. And the initiator of this chaos was Lin Rei from the God realm. Of course, this wasn't his intention. He just wanted to take revenge and teach them a lesson. However, he didn't consider that the destruction of an empire meant that the other empires and sects would be jealous. Just like how the Guanyin Empire was a piece of juicy meat, the other three empires and sects were also sharing it. For this piece of juicy meat, they didn't hesitate to kill those who stood in their way. It could even be said that they didn't hesitate to start a war. The temptation of this piece of juicy meat was so great that they forgot that the ones who would suffer in the end were the ordinary people of the Destiny realm. Or rather, they didn't care at all. In their eyes, the ordinary people of the Destiny realm were like ants. Since they couldn't live, they should just die. Inside the palace of the Guanyin Empire, Li Huangdao's face turned gloomy when he heard the report from his subordinate. You said that the Lu family's territory was divided by the Long family? Li Huangdao obviously didn't expect this outcome. He originally believed that the Lu family would return to the imperial family after they were destroyed. But now, yes, everything I said is true, Li Huangdao said. Below him, a middle-aged man reported with a trembling voice. The Long family. Humph, I gave them face. To think that they would take a fancy to the emperor's things. Thinking of the Long family, Li Huangdao's killing intent surged. Previously, the Lu family had stepped in to suppress them, so Li Huangdao was at ease. But now, the Lu family was gone. Which family in the imperial capital could compete with the Long family? No, in the entire imperial capital, only the imperial family could restrain the Long family. No other family could restrain the Long family. Even before the rise of the Lu family, the Long family was the most influential family in the imperial capital. How could this be? What happened to the Lu family? Why did the emperor want to divide the Lu family? At this moment, in a corner outside the main hall, Lu Linglong stood there with a dazed expression on her face. Lu Linglong didn't come from the beginning. She only came when she heard that the Lu family had been divided. She was originally happy to come and share the joy of her breakthrough with Li Huangdao. But now, was she happy? No, she wasn't happy. She was even very depressed. A bad premonition surged in her heart. She couldn't stop her tears from falling. She covered her mouth with both hands to prevent herself from making a sound. As a smart woman, Lu Linglong knew when to advance and when to retreat. She still didn't know what happened to the Lu family. It was too early to say anything now. Thinking of this, she glanced at Li Huangdao in the main hall and turned to leave. The reluctance in her eyes was completely gone at this moment. Chapter 11-13. Li Huangdao did not know that his most beloved woman, Lu Linglong, had returned while he was in a meeting. He was currently in a rage and naturally did not know that Lu Linglong had returned. Fengsu Palace, the palace where Lu Linglong resided. In the entire palace, other than Li Huangdao's heavenly palace, Fengsu Palace was the most luxurious palace. Demonic beasts similar to Pai Xiu were placed around the palace to guard it. If one looked closely, one would see that the 16 pillars of the palace were made of black gold. One could imagine how luxurious it was. Black gold. This pillar was worth more than 10 million. Although the Guangyun Empire was an empire, it was not a waste built on gold. The Fengsu Hall wasn't originally like this. It was only after Lu Linglong arrived and Li Huangdao doted on her that he found someone to build it. In order to prevent others from finding out, the outside of the hall was painted with a layer of black paint to cover it up. In Fengsu Palace, Lu Linglong returned from Li Huangdao's place. The worry on her face was even more intense. Go and investigate. Find out what happened to the Lu family during this time. Find out if they are safe. At this moment, Lu Linglong spoke to the air. If anyone was here, they would definitely think that she was crazy. However, just as Lu Linglong finished speaking, a figure flashed and appeared in the direction Lu Linglong was looking at. Plop. The moment the figure appeared, he knelt in front of Lu Linglong with a face full of respect. Mistress, actually, the man looked like he wanted to say something but stopped. His expression showed that he could not bear it. Lu Linglong was not stupid. How could she not know the man's expression? Her heart shook violently. She let out a long breath and tried to calm herself down. She said, Lil 8, you have been following me since I was young. You should know my temper. Tell me, what happened to the Lu family? At this moment, Lu Linglong was basically certain that something had happened to the Lu family. Moreover, this change was not small. Otherwise, with how much Li Huangdao doted on her, it was impossible for him to not do anything. The man kneeling on the ground looked up at his mistress. His eyes shook and he hesitated. He could not help but hesitate. Although he understood Lu Linglong's character and knew that Lu Linglong was very mature in some matters, but only when it came to the Lu family. If Lu Linglong knew that something had happened to the Lu family, he was afraid. Speak. Seeing that Lil 8 was not speaking, Lu Linglong grew furious and shouted. Master, are you certain that you wish to know? Looking at Lu Linglong, 80 asked for confirmation. Yes, I'm sure. Hurry up and tell me, Lu Linglong confirmed. His heart tightened as he focused his gaze and became serious. Alas! Looking at Lu Linglong's current state, Lil 8 let out a long sigh and immediately spoke about what happened in the Lu family. The Lu clan has been wiped out. Apart from you, everyone in the Lu clan, including the livestock, was killed. Everyone in the Lu clan was killed. Boom. The message was like a bolt from the blue that struck Lu Linglong's ears. In an instant, Lu Linglong's mind went blank. His entire body stood there in a daze. His body could not stop trembling. Tears flowed uncontrollably from her eyes, and her expression was full of disbelief. The Lu family was wiped out? How is this possible? No, that's not right. You must be lying to me. Lil 8, tell me, are you lying to me? How could the Lu family be wiped out? Who in the entire Guangyun Empire would dare to do anything? Furthermore, the Lu family has a martial ancestor in the peak martial ancestor realm. Who would dare to do anything? That's right. You must be lying to me. The Lu family cannot be wiped out. The Lu family is so powerful. When I returned 2 days ago, the Lu family was fine. How is this possible? After recovering from the shock, Lu Linglong began to talk to herself like a madman. Her eyes were filled with tears and she was covered in tears. If Li Huangdao was here to see Lu Linglong's current state, he would definitely be heartbroken. Master, seeing Lu Linglong's current state, Lil 8 could not help but call out. He knew that telling Lu Linglong about the Lu family's destruction would cause such a situation. However, he had to say it. After all, Lu Linglong was the only survivor of the Lu family. Impossible. How is this possible? Lu Linglong continued to talk to herself as if she did not hear Lil 8's call. Her appearance was very frightening. The originally noble and elegant Lu Linglong had disappeared. A murderous intent flashed from Lu Linglong's body. As time passed, the murderous intent became more and more intense. In the end, even Lil 8, who was famous for his assassination skills, felt a chill run down his spine. "Master, don't be like this. There is no other way. Your younger brother has offended someone he should not have offended and cannot afford to offend. Even the Lu family's martial ancestor could not defeat him and ensure the safety of the Lu family. According to the rumors, the person who attacked the Lu family was a martial honorable, so." "Martial honorable? Why? Li Huangdao, why didn't you do anything? The opponent was only a martial honorable. With your cultivation, you could have easily killed him. Why didn't you do anything to help the Lu family? Why did you do that?" After coming back to her senses and hearing Lil 8's words, Lu Linglong was stunned. A martial honorable was able to stop Li Huangdao from doing anything. She did not understand why Li Huangdao would do that. She did not understand. She could not understand why Li Huangdao would treat her like this. He kept saying that he loved her. What about now? Heh, her heart turned cold. Ever since she heard Li Huangdao's words, her heart turned cold. At this moment, she had recovered from her madness. Her temperament had undergone a tremendous change in a short period of time. Her original gentleness had disappeared. Lil 8, go, contact the death flag. Even if I have to use up all my family's assets, I want the people who destroyed the Lu family to die. All of them must die. Her words caused Lil 8 to tremble in fear. But Lil 8 wanted to refute. After all, the opponent was a martial honorable. Usually, no one would accept such a price. Even the death flag was the same. Even if the death flag had a martial honorable, who would do it for money? Use all our resources, no matter the cost. We must kill that person. Murderous intent surged. Feeling the murderous intent, Lil 8 understood that Lu Linglong had made up her mind. No matter how he refuted, it would be useless. After a long moment of silence, he looked at Lu Linglong's determined expression. In the end, he nodded helplessly. "All right. Since Master has decided, I will go now. However, there are too many things to do in the palace. You should not expose yourself during this period of time. After all, the Emperor did not help the Lu family. This matter is too complicated. For the sake of the last bloodline of the Lu family, you must protect yourself during this period of time when I am not around. Do not get hurt." To outsiders, these words sounded somewhat ambiguous. However, Lu Linglong was already used to it. "I understand." Chapter 11:14. Li Huangdao had no idea what Lu Linglong was doing. If he had known that she was going to make a move on Lin Rui, he would not have hesitated to kill Lil 8. Women and power. In front of a king, it was obvious which was more important. It was a pity that a man did not have a woman, but he could not be without power. It was especially so for a king like Li Huangdao. He would not allow anything to go wrong with Lin Rui. He could not afford to pay the price. The price was too great, so great that it made him breathless. In the meeting hall, there were still a few people who had left with Lu Linglong. However, the atmosphere in the hall was even more depressing and oppressive. A man knelt on the ground and looked at the emperor, who was sitting on the throne. His body seemed to be frozen, and he did not move at all except for his rolling eyes. "Emperor, please think twice about this. If the Long clan were to become powerful, it would not be good for the empire. The head of the Long clan, Long Yaoyang, is a very kind person. If the Long clan had the ability, I'm afraid the position of the emperor would have changed. An old man spoke. Although his voice was soft, it was like a ticking time bomb, shocking everyone present. Everyone's eyes were focused on the old man, including Li Huangdao. His expression changed as he looked at the old man. Li Taiyuan, a relative of the royal family, was also the prime minister of the empire. It could be said that he was second only to the emperor. In the empire, only Li Taiyuan had the right to speak. In terms of seniority, Li Taiyuan was Li Huangdao's uncle. The atmosphere in the hall became even more oppressive. The man kneeling on the ground was even more speechless. He had been kneeling since the beginning, and even as a warrior, he could not do anything. Looking at Li Taiyuan, Li Huangdao could only express his annoyance. Did he not understand the ambition of the Long clan? No, he understood. It was just that Lin Rei's strength made him feel helpless, so he did not dare to make a move. The only thing he could do now was to wait and see. The situation in the capital was changing rapidly, and with Lin Rei as a variable, he did not dare to be careless. He could not afford to take the risk. Prime Minister, the Emperor understands what you're saying, but... He really wanted to tell them about Lin Rei and tell them about his helplessness as the Emperor, but after thinking about it, he didn't say anything. Forget it. Let's talk about this later. As for the Long family. Emperor Li continued, let's observe the Long family first. Emperor, you, alright, let's not talk about it anymore. Let's leave this matter at that. Remember, during this period of time, tell your juniors to behave. You should understand the current situation in the capital. If something happens, don't come crying to me. Li Taiyuan wanted to say something, but before he could say anything, Li Huangdao quickly interrupted him. Sighs could be heard continuously in the hall. Emperor Li was also helpless about this. He also wanted to solve the problem in front of him, but he didn't have the strength to do so. Alright, since the matter has been resolved, let's leave. Remember, this matter is only known to the few of you. Otherwise... A wisp of killing intent surged out and instantly enveloped the surroundings. Plop. Strange sounds could be heard. The people who were originally standing all knelt on the ground, including Li Taiyuan. Their faces were grave and red. Li Huangdao's cultivation level was higher than theirs. It was very difficult for them to not lose their composure in front of such killing intent. We understand. Please rest assured, Emperor. After all, we will guard today's matter to the death. We will not let anyone know what happened today, the crowd said in unison. Alright, go. Li Taiyuan and the others felt their bodies relax. The cold killing intent disappeared. The scene of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood around them disappeared. They stood up and bowed to Li Huangdao. They didn't stop at all. At the entrance of the hall, the crowd came out together. They looked at each other, their expressions helpless. They felt helpless about Li Huangdao's decision. They didn't understand why Li Huangdao would be so patient when the other party was just a martial venerable. Didn't he like the Lu family's only daughter, Lu Linglong? Why was he so indifferent when such a thing happened to the Lu family? Fine, the matter between the Lu family and the Long family isn't something that we can handle. From now on, don't pay attention to it, Li Huangdao said to the people around him. But, a middle-aged man refused to accept it. As someone who was born in the military, he couldn't bear to see people like this riding on the empire's neck. Alright, stop talking. I'm old and don't have many days left. This empire is the world of the young. Li Taiyuan sighed and shook his head as he looked at the crowd. He walked out of the imperial palace as he spoke. The remaining people looked at Li Taiyuan's back as he left. At that moment, he looked so lonely. The crowd shook their heads helplessly and didn't say anything else. They nodded at each other and left separately. They went back to their families and mothers. Inside the hall, Li Huangdao could imagine the scene outside even without using his perception, especially Li Taiyuan's disappointment. Looking at the entrance of the hall, Li Taiyuan shook his head helplessly. Prime Minister, I hope you don't blame the Emperor. The Emperor also feels that this way of living is very difficult, but the enemies ahead are too strong. Even the old ancestor isn't a match for them, let alone me. In the Grey Cloud Mountain Range, at the bottom of the valley where Lin Rui was staying, Lu Changtian had finished packing up. His aura had recovered to its peak and even had a slight breakthrough. Master, I don't know if I'll survive this time. Don't you plan to give me a few life-saving treasures, battle techniques, or footwork? Looking at Lin Rui, Lu Changtian couldn't help but laugh. Pfft! Huiyun saw Lu Changtian at this moment and couldn't help but burst out laughing. They had spent some time together before, but she didn't remember Lu Changtian having such a year. Not only Huiyun, but Long Ming and Hong Si were also the same. Looking at Lu Changtian's lively behavior, the rascal was speechless. Don't worry, you won't die. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lin Rui said. With that bast *RD around, you'll be fine. SSSS. A snake-like hissing sound came from the mouth of the blood spirit sky in Lu Changtian's hand. Bast *RD, you bast *road. What kind of old thing are you? Don't you know how to talk? I'm still a cub, okay? The blood spirit sky glared at Lin Rui and the voice sounded in Lin Rui's mind. Cub? Indeed, you're still a cub. But you've been a cub for too long. How many years do you think you've been a cub for humans? You're already an old Gabba noob, so how can you still be a cub? You have the nerve to say that. Even I can hear how red you are. Lin Rui didn't show any mercy to the blood spirit sky. After spending a long time together, Lin Rui summed up the blood spirit sky's character in one word. Cheap. That's right, cheap. I feel uncomfortable if I don't scold this kind of demon. She's just like a masochist who needs to be taught a lesson. Chapter 11:15. Boom! In the deepest part of the King of Hell's ancient land, a loud explosion resounded. Following that, the earth trembled and the mountains shook. Rocks crumbled and the ground caved in. Dark clouds gathered in the sky and thunder clouds rolled. Everything within a radius of 10,000 li was enveloped by a powerful aura. The moment this phenomenon appeared, all the flowers and trees turned into ashes and disappeared from the world. It was as if they were never there. Rumble, in the deepest part of the King of Hell's ancient land, a crack appeared on the ground. Astral winds gushed out from the crack and swept through the space of the King of Hell's ancient land. Roar, a beastly roar suddenly resounded, shaking the heavens. The moment all the beasts in the ancient land heard this roar, they fled. Those who didn't manage to escape in time could only prostrate themselves on the ground in worship. It was as if they had met an emperor. Their faces were filled with fear. Roar! Roar! The wind and clouds surged, and strange phenomena appeared. Heaven and earth changed. This was an unchanging law. Kacha, the thunder clouds rolled, and purple lightning mixed with red lightning rumbled in the clouds for a long time. Finally, when the clouds couldn't hold it any longer, the lightning struck down, aiming at the crack in the depths of the King of Hell's ancient land. Zizi, roar! The moment the lightning broke free from the thunder clouds, it turned into a 10,000-meter-long lightning dragon. It looked ferocious, and the pressure from its body instantly suppressed everything within a radius of 10,000 li. Damned heavens, do you think you can make me compromise just like this? Dream on. A heaven-shaking roar rang out from the depths of the crevice, accompanied by a wanton and unrestrained voice. "Ha, come, let me see how terrifying your lightning tribulation is. Let's see if your lightning tribulation is stronger or my defense is stronger." His voice rang out once more. Such arrogant, conceited words, if Linley were to hear them again, he probably wouldn't be able to keep up the pretense even if he rolled his eyes and died. Swoosh, suddenly, the lightning dragon dived down. From the crack, a black shadow rushed out and rushed towards the lightning dragon. Its speed was so fast that it left people speechless. Quiet as a virgin, quick as a rabbit, nonsense, like a fleeting glimpse, trash, under the speed of the black shadow, all these adjectives had to kneel down. "Come, let me catch you." His arrogant voice did not diminish. It was unknown if he really had the ability to do so or if he was just saying it. Slowly, the black shadow's speed became faster and faster. When the 3,000-meter-long black shadow appeared, its body was completely exposed. It had 2 horns on its head, a snake-like body, 4 legs, and a fishtail. Its shape was similar to that of a dragon, but the difference was that it did not have any scales on its body. Instead, a faint light could be seen moving around its body. In terms of looking and not changing, he couldn't be compared to the dragon clan at all, because he was too ugly. Boom, the thunder dragon seemed to understand the words of the demonic beast. The thunder dragon, which was originally only a few dozen meters thick, instantly grew to 100 meters in length. It was simply shocking to the heavens and earth, making ghosts and gods weep. In the main hall of the Yellow Region Thousand Treasures Sect, a middle-aged man was sitting cross-legged. His appearance was very beautiful. Although he wasn't extremely talented, he had sharp eyebrows, bright eyes, and an imposing appearance. He looked like a handsome uncle that could charm thousands of young girls. This is the pressure of heaven and earth? Suddenly, the man opened his eyes, and a strange light flashed from his body. He looked in the direction where the pressure of heaven and earth came from and frowned. His figure instantly disappeared from where he was and disappeared from the hall. Outside the main hall, the man had appeared out of nowhere. He stood outside the main hall and looked in the direction of the pressure. What's going on? Why is the pressure of heaven and earth so dense? What exactly is going on? Why would it attract such a terrifying pressure of heaven and earth? I'm afraid that even Heavenly Saint Huanyuan's heavenly tribulation isn't half as strong as this pressure. Feeling the pressure getting denser and denser, the man's eyes were filled with worry. The same scene occurred in the Xian region, Earth region, Heaven region, Wasteland region, Flood region, Aeon region, Universe region, and the 9 heavens. All the experts from the various sects and empires felt the terrifying pressure of heaven and earth. There was no lack of Heavenly Saint Huanyuan, Earth Saint Huanyuan, and even the Supreme Existences, Tao integration sages, felt the terrifying pressure of heaven and earth. In the depths of the Netherworld King's ancient land, the Black Shadow didn't know why it was here, but it caused all the sects in the Holy World to feel the strangeness. Pang, finally, the two of them collided. The terrifying lightning dragon instantly engulfed the Black Shadow and enveloped it. The Black Shadow appeared in the lightning dragon's abdomen. His Holy Spirit energy erupted, and there wasn't the slightest trace of worry in his eyes. It was as if the current situation couldn't bring him any trouble. If that's all you have, I can only say that I'm very disappointed. Looking at the surrounding lightning and thunder, a trace of disappointment flashed through the Black Shadow's eyes. Transcendence World, explode. Suddenly, the Black Shadow roared. A golden light appeared behind him, and a fake Black Shadow appeared.